I know usually there's someone up this early in the morning, if not a few of you. But I don't know any cell that's still on, so you guys may all be off of YouTube. And this may be all for nothing. It shows I have one viewer. You read the description, ain't Douglas. So just to clarify, this is because I had a rough day yesterday. And I'm doing my best to hold that wall in. Because I just spent... I'm sorry you're just coming in. I don't have 3 a.m. friends. I don't have someone I could call. I mean, I probably do. But they're not people I call at 3 o'clock in the morning. Because they have jobs. They have bills to pay, you know? This week's Thanksgiving. And I'm sorry. My emotions are skin deep. And I thought that I was doing really good to put on a brave face, because so many are right now. Until someone started blowing up my phone almost 2 hours ago. Over crap that I have no control over. But they think I do. So, when I realized I can't just copy and paste my whole conversation of almost 4 months with them and save it so I have it, so when they get up or realize their error, they don't delete all our conversations. Because I've only got one person I've done that with. I'm not going to blast them out here because they're going through a lot and I'd be upset too. And I've told everybody who is getting to know me that if you have a concern or anything, come to me. It doesn't mean blow my phone up at midnight. This is a hard week for me. Aside from my grandmother, who, God willing, will make it through these major holidays. There is no one above me other than an uncle and aunt of mine that still exist. All my parents are gone. My 3 a.m. people required to go somewhere and required to have a damn job to pay their bills come the first week of next month, So who do I call? I came here. I've tossed around for almost 2 hours. It took me an hour and 42 minutes to screenshot everything because the platform that me and this person had a conversation since the day before I went live for my very first time, which was my 42nd birthday. So that was September. I screenshotted it all. Because I'm exhausted from my day yesterday. I had an appointment. If y'all tuned in, not all of you could because other people were on, and I'm not griping. I support other channels to the best of my ability. Even when I can't purchase, I go in and do thumbs up. I'm sorry, I'm emotional. Some of it's hormonal, but a lot of it has to do with this week. And then someone blowing up my phone, not with one message, not with two, but 12 to 14. I'm not quite sure because when I opened it up, it disappeared as far as where it shows how many you have missed from that person. So it took me an hour and 42 minutes to screenshot. It's been since September, we're at the end of November. So October, September, so 2.5 months, because it was the day before my 42nd birthday when my conversation with this person started. But I screenshotted because I don't know where they're gonna go with whatever they think they've got, but I'm not gonna blast them because I'm gonna give them the benefit of being upset. This is nothing I did. I'm upset because they brought it to me at midnight and they blew my phone up until it responded to them. It should be in bed. Give me a second. I haven't even took my meds for the night. So, shows 5 people are on, and I don't expect anyone to jump in my chat, especially with the way it describes this chit chat. I just appreciate someone's here. If there's lurkers there and they know why I came on, this isn't a blasting one. This is a ceasefire, right? I've been dealing with a lot of stuff behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about and don't need to know about. If I wanted YouTube to know about it, I'd have done my own YouTube video. But I'll tell you what I have a problem with. I'm a mom. Okay? I'm a mom. My kids aren't little, but I'm a mom. And I'm a military mom. That's who I am. So if you want to come on, it wasn't done in a chat. It was done on a different server, a preferred server for this person. It just so happened I do screenshots of the last, 8 weeks, 9 weeks of our conversation. That way, if they really believe that I'm somehow connected to what I guess is their downfall or something, or someone assuming that they're responsible for something that happened this weekend that, as far as I could tell, is out of their control too. But they want to blame me, that's fine. But don't bring my kids into it. My kids are adults, yes. But that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line with anybody. Don't bring my kids into it. So I'm going, mind you, I screenshotted all this because I know they have the ability to delete all the messages. I only know this because I asked someone who's familiar with the server that the messages are on, because I couldn't copy and paste. I tried it with the phone and I tried it with my laptop. It would not do. So I reached out to someone who's more tech savvy than I am. And I asked them, and they're like, you can't do it. You have to screenshot. And I said, are you kidding? This goes back to September 16th of this year, thankfully. And they're like, yeah, but when you screenshot, make sure it overlaps and make sure you organize them so if you ever need them for whatever reason, you have them. Now, I'm saying that because anyone and everybody on YouTube knows I screenshot when I'm in auctions. A lot of the time it's for my benefit because, like, if we're on a late night, I screenshot A so I know what I bought, and B so I know the amount, because sometimes I go to bed without writing it down. And that's just how I keep track of it. Thank goodness I do that, because I actually had someone I buy from. I haven't bought from them in a while, but that's because I'm dealing with stuff. And I've had to make some cutbacks. And one of them, I announced it last week, is likely memberships. And that's not a threat. There's some of them, I will find a way. I can't donate plasma because my veins aren't big enough. Apparently that's a thing. But, man, I'll go sell jewelry on the corner to get enough to pay for some people's memberships. And we're not talking large memberships, right? We're talking like $2.99 to $4.99. It's not a whole lot, except when you consider I got a message the other day because I've got my cards locked, so things can't pull off, because I've had a few things that I just can't afford right now. Streaming, but not streaming for the TV, streaming like the computer, right? For services I need to be able to come on and sell. we're going to be all right. It just sucks. It's the end of the month. But I got a notification, it was Friday, that I had two memberships that were paused because my cards were locked. Well, one of them it wouldn't help anyways because it was on a temporary card. When I do a membership with anybody, it doesn't matter if it's a 99-cent one, because I do have 2 or 3 that are 99 cents, or if you're $4.99 membership. When I start a membership with you, it goes on a temporary card, because I'm going to decide in that first 30 days if I want to be a member of your channel. It don't matter if you consider me a friend or a foe. It is what it is. So one of them was actually that. The other one actually tried to pull from the card. This week, and I went into that person's live, and I was hoping to catch it right at the start so I could go ahead and update the membership, because I don't like being a distraction for when someone's selling. And their whole atmosphere changed other than what I'm used to in the last couple of months. So I didn't comment in their things, but I still did the thumbs up. I sent heart emojis, the ones that float on the screen. Yeah, if I'm usually in those chats and you don't see me, but you see the hearts, likely it's probably me. But it's my way of saying, hey, for whatever reason, whether it's because I'm busy, because I am. I don't just do YouTube, y'all. We do an outreach. And then I'm on top of it. So I don't have time, because I feel guilty when I don't acknowledge everyone. This evening I jumped into the evening chat, and Douglas shared me out, and I didn't even acknowledge and thank him for sharing my link out. And I always do that. I may not get everybody, but Douglas, I always acknowledge. And if Douglas is still here, great. If he's not, because it's late, that's fine too. But you see, he jumped in my chat and he said, hello, Stephanie. That's going to mean something to someone. It does to me. All he had to do was say that. And yeah. I really considered doing this at all, because for the last 6 years, I've been a military mom, which means I'm aware that my actions or inactions or not thinking before I speak has consequences, good, bad, or indifferent. And it does impact my kids, both the ones in combat boots and the ones that aren't. It impacts people that support me openly and have done nothing wrong. And I'm not going to address why I'm not in certain people's chats. And I'm not talking recent. Like, hey, I've been super busy, but I've done everything behind the scenes, doing the thumbs up. If I can, I share you out. I can't always do it, but I'm also aware that people follow me. But I haven't made it open, right? I haven't said anything openly about it, because I don't, drama breeds drama. Negative attracts negative. And I'm done with the negative. I've dealt with it since the end of September, beginning of October. Okay? I didn't intend then, and I do not intend now to address and engage in that misbehavior. All I will say is I have my ducks all in a row for that. And it's not me just saying that. Legal counsel has told me that. Which is why I also need the screenshots for tonight, in case that turns into something it shouldn't. But, people are unpredictable when they're hurt. And this person is hurt. Here's the problem. Blame me if you want. But that's not the problem here. Like, my first thought is, I knew this person was going to be upset. I was made aware of it while it was happening in real time. Like, someone called me, and not everybody has my number, but 2 handfuls of people on YouTube do. So someone called me and said, Steph, are you watching this? Well, no, I wasn't. I was trying to do my paperwork. I was trying to get caught up. I was symptomatic this weekend because I missed my injectable again because I had a outreach that came in on Friday. It don't always come in on Fridays, but it did. And so my evening was consumed with that, making sure arrangements were done. We were the feet and the hands, and we made it happen. But we couldn't have done it without our community. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining how it happened where I missed my injectable again. The next morning, I woke up and I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like it did the first time I missed it, which was a couple weeks before. So I didn't understand it. I felt sick. And people have been sick lately. Not people we've been around, but I mean just in general. So I'm like, okay, maybe something that has come in, and I'm not accusing anyone, so don't go there. But I'm thinking, well, maybe something, that was packaged because there have been sick people. Maybe I've got a germ that came in the mail. It can happen. We know that with COVID. So that's what was going on when I got the call. Hey, Steph, are you watching this? And I'm not going to tell you who called me because it's no one's business. All I can say is this person genuinely thought of me because of the context that the whatever was going on another channel, that it may be insinuating that I had something to do with it. Well, tonight, no doubt, it was confirmed at least with one of them that, yeah, that's where they were going with it. But this person is genuinely hurt. And here's the point of this video. This is the point of this live. I don't know who it is, but I'm going to read some context to y'all. I'm not going to tell you who because that's the thing. What people tell me is in confidence. Mr. Stephanie doesn't get to know who I talk to, okay? It's safer for me, not for... Don't take it that way. Don't take it out of context. Listen to me out. It's safer for me and the people I talk to, whether it's about YouTube stuff or otherwise, unless it involves Mr. Stephanie, to bring him on board. The same thing with my adult children that don't live with me, right? Because they're all dealing with their own lives and trying to get footing under them. They're young adults. They're trying to, So, let me get to it. I gotta... ridiculous, but as long as they didn't know that I was coming on. All right, so I'm just going to go up to where they were blowing my phone up. I know it said at least 12 because it highlighted the number, but I think it might have said 14. Now, it is after hours, so I'm just going to say, there's probably, I know, the word shit in one of my comments. I can't tell you the full context because it would tell you who is messaging me. And I really want to guard their privacy only for the sake of the fact that I know they're hurt and upset. Where I'm hurt and upset is I'm a human being, right? My heart is beating on the side of the screen. Did anyone, whether you're the one responsible, and I don't expect everyone to understand what I'm talking about, okay? Because I have to use some discretion here. But what I'm telling you is I've got it right here. I mean, you can see the haze, right? I really consider reaching out to somebody, but I do know that typically they're in bed still, and no one deserves to deal with the shit. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I want to tell you, I draw the line when you drag my kids into it. And I'll get to the context of that. Mind you, I'm hormonal, so it's not even good. And now we're on Thanksgiving week. Okay, this is the first year without my parents and without the most pivotal person aside from my grandmother and Mr. Stephanie and my kids in my life. And I'm doing it sober. But a few of y'all are really, really pushing that envelope. It would be so easy to go just grab a shot of whiskey somewhere. Thank God everywhere's closed here in the state of Kansas, I think. Maybe a casino. But I think they're closed too. Okay, give me a second. We're on the 26th, so it'd have been the 25th because it did come in after midnight. So it says yesterday, 11:50, so just before midnight. It says, Stephanie, are you still awake? By the way, disclosure, I do vape. I'm not expecting them to be monetized, and if I am, I just won't be able to monetize this one. This is my coping skill right now, and the fact that I can just vent. If it causes me to lose sales this week and I'm short on being able to pay a bill because I don't get invoices that are paid this week, meaning people that will buy from me, then that's my consequence, okay? But I'm done being quiet. When you drag my kids into it or suggest that somehow they're responsible or that somehow I am, like, do you think that little of me? I mean, if that's the projection that I'm putting out in chats, that I could be that type of person, I need someone to tell me. This isn't fake, y'all. I'm crying and trying really hard to hold it back because I just don't have that person I feel comfortable with calling at 3 a.m. and unloading the shit on them. No one deserves this. And if I wake Mr. Stephanie up, that's a consequence I'm going to deal with because he's going to be upset that I didn't wake him up instead I came here. Y'all, he just crossed his 5 years from having a widowmaker heart attack. He has been stressed out for the last 2 months because of this shit. But you know, you won't see it in the chat. When he takes breaks, he needs them. It's not because he don't want to support anybody. He cares as much as I do about all of you. It says, are you still awake? We need to talk about something that happened on YouTube last night, meaning Saturday, okay? Right? No, Sunday. Because yesterday was Monday. I just haven't slept, so it's actually Tuesday morning now. And I'm not doing this for attention. I'm doing this because it's my way of venting before I call a bunch of mothers out. Because, I mean, I can just live stream this shit on a number of platforms. And not just this, but everything going back to before summer was officially summer. And we can really see where everybody falls. I'm not that way. That makes me feel like I'm back in an addiction that I fought hard to get out of. Petey, enough. He wants out. That and I'm upset. So if you need your drama, I think that's why I put it. I think I put drama in the description because no one deserves this shit on Thanksgiving week. Dude, come on. You're gonna wake the whole house up. Stop! You're gonna go out and you're gonna bark at whatever's out there, and there ain't nothing out there. It shouldn't be. You have to talk to my animals. Judge me. Go potty. It's cold enough out there, he shouldn't be out there long, but he'll probably start barking. It's super important. That's in caps. I didn't know exactly what happened until's in caps. I went back to watch the video. Well, newsflash for you, if you're watching this now, or you watch the replay, if you had let me finish when I told you I'm just like glanced through all 12 or 14 of your messages to make sure you're blowing me up, after I put on the app that I was taking a break because I needed it, not because I was upset at anybody. And you're like, fine, whatever, good night. You know what? Everybody's dealing with something. Some of us have a good way of hiding it, and not because we want to, but it's easier to hide it than to have to explain it to people that don't understand. Last night on Blank's channel, I'm just bleeping out whose name because I'm really in the middle of broadcasting. Someone came into the chat with a super similar to mine and made horrible accusations to that channel owner and their guest. Now, that's my words, not theirs. I'm just trying not to give. Okay. I want y'all to know something. If anybody is associated with me, meaning we're in other chats together, you have a channel that I support, and you're behaving like this, if you're behaving like anything that happened this weekend, I don't have to put channel names in. I'm going to tell you something. The moment I find out it's you, I'm done. Because you're burning the bridge at both ends, not with just me. And I don't send life preservers, okay? When you burn the bridge at both ends with me, I'm done with you. That's the reason why I have not been in other people's chats since the beginning of October. Okay, they burnt the bridge at both ends. Here's the thing. What a lot of y'all don't understand, because you don't need to, is that bridge was burning long before it was ever brought to YouTube. I gotta go get him. Hey. Dude. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on, it's cold. Come on. Come on. It's cold. Dude, you're gonna wait. You're gonna wait. You went potty less than 2 hours ago. Get over it. He just went because he was barking. So don't start barking. I don't need it. Anyways, the horrible accusations, just so you know, I'm aware of them because someone called me on my phone and said, Steph, are you watching? Well, no, I haven't watched that channel or anyone associated with that channel as far as anyone that collaborates on a weekly basis with them since October. I'm not going to tell you the context of it. You already know. I'm just refusing to put it out there. Anyways, it's a troll, and this person says it was a troll and it was gotten rid of. But my name was, and I can't pronounce this, so maybe I'm illiterate, and I mean that respectfully. It says the troll was gotten rid of, but my name was, I don't know if it's a typo, it's BESMIRCHED. I'd ask Siri, but I'm out of space on my personal phone. I spent $2 before this to buy some space, and then I realized some of the photos I thought I lost of my aunt that died in July. It appears that they're on there, but I can't even look because my phone started blowing up. Anyway, and the chat kept saying things like, we probably know who it is and who's talking about whatever was being accused, okay? They're Pacific in here, but I'm opting to leave some words out because I'm just, for one, I'm not going to add to whatever was going on in their chat, whoever was bringing it in. But here's the thing, for the person that sent me this message, they were receiving those type of things. I don't know who it was from, but they do. And it was happening while I was in their chats too, in June and July. So they know who it is. And just so you know, I was in there while it was all going on, not when it happened. And then I'm on the phone with this person that called me, and I'm like, so what was said? And where was it said? Because, I mean, everything was erupting. It was erupting in the panel and the chat. The chat was flying, and I couldn't catch it. Okay? I'm not a sub to these people anymore. And not because I hate them. I don't hate them. It takes too much energy to hate people. But apparently someone hates me enough to think that this type of behavior is acceptable. I had a rough day yesterday, y'all. I had an appointment that went over. I'm dealing with shit I don't talk about because it's no one's business. But here I am because that wasn't enough, because I wouldn't address them and everything right there and take their call, because it wasn't enough that they blew my phone up 12 to 14 times. Didn't even want to discuss it. No, honey, I'm upset. Someone decided to drag my kids into their chaos from what happened this weekend. Like, it's my fault. Like, I have the energy and the time. Like, where the hell do I get the extra time? I only have 24 hours a day. Last night, and I know I'm yelling, I'm going to probably wake Mr. Stephanie up, and then he's going to be upset because I'm even on here. And then I didn't wake him up. Here's the thing. I don't want his blood pressure up here. If he wakes up and his blood pressure is up there, he's not going back to bed tonight. Y'all, he's got a 10 to 12 hour day at work tomorrow. He's been doing that for over 2 weeks and still showing up in people's chats, and it's still not enough for some people. Sorry, hippie. I love you, girl. I'm not okay, but I'm gonna get there because I'm venting. It's not because this person reached out to me. It's how they did it and the accusation. Accuse me of anything you want to. Don't bring my kids into it. My kids are adults, yes. Some of them just barely. All right? But 2 of them are American soldiers, so they were built to withstand bullshit. Not that they deserve this either. So, mind you, 12 to 15, whether it was a sentence or more, 12 to 14 before I responded and said, hey, give me a second. And I don't even think I said, give me a second, because the first thing that popped, I seen the accusation that my kids are involved, or I know who is. Like, really? There's 24 hours in a day, and last night, not tonight, because I haven't went to bed yet. So the night before, I didn't crawl into bed till almost 3 in the damn morning, because I went back and I watched their whole live. So they got viewer time for me. So be it. But I needed to see the context in which I walked into when I got the call and said, are you watching this? And then the questions just went from there, because there was an insinuation that somebody was involved. And there's been enough breadcrumbs that I've been blamed for on so many other levels. Like, damn, if I had half the time to do half of what I've been accused of, I wouldn't be on here selling. I gotta pick some stuff up. I got some yesterday. I went to Walmart and I got some more supplies because I have a few fragile things that need to be wrapped. And I went to the clearance section and I got this tape, this washi tape, because someone packaged some of my stuff with washi tape and it was cool. But I don't want to pay $7 to $10 ordering it online for one strip. I felt, 6 rolls. It says 7 meters. Well, that should be enough to deck out a few, things. But I dropped those, so sorry. Some people just don't think before they message people. And I understand being upset. And, my shoulders are broad enough. It's carried the weight of the world, literally. Okay? For 39 years. Take that into account for a minute, y'all. 39 years is not making it up. Okay? I'm 42, so do the math. My fairy tale of a childhood ended when I was 3 years old. 37 years to the day my mom died. 37 years before. Something a 3-year-old made a choice about changed the trajectory of her whole entire family. And it involved food, of all things. And that's probably my other frustration tonight. Usually I would I would turn to food. I gained from January through June when I went and had a physical done. I gained over 70 pounds because that's how I chose to cope with the loss. Someone I can never replace. And this is my first Thanksgiving without them. And I lost 2 this year. And yes, I knew they were both coming, but don't make it any easier. So this bullshit didn't need to happen. And if it costs me cells tomorrow, it costs me cells. I'm tired of putting a smile on and being in agony because of messages. I don't know what I've done to anyone to deserve this shit. I was an addict for almost 6 years. And it's a pretty terrible thing that I'm not proud of. And I would go back and I'd change it all if I could. But it's in the past, I can't. I can only choose now and move forward. But people will give you every damn reason to lapse or relapse. You want to know how people lapse? Is because people don't have fucking lives. And addicts feel guilty to reach out to someone when they're in trouble. People with depression don't want to be a struggle or be anything anymore to anyone. This time of year is hard for everyone. We lost one of our bonus kids a couple years ago because they woke up one day and didn't say it out. People on that side of the screen have the same damn heartbeat. We still bleed the same. They do. And these difficult people in my life, they keep me going. It's stupid, right? I mean, there's days where I don't want to come on YouTube no more because, like, the payoff, and I'm not talking in my account. I'm talking just the way I feel. Sometimes it's not worth it. But it's people like you, hippie. It's people when I jump in chat, and you know what? I could be struggling. Not that anyone will see it. But there's some days I struggle, and I'm like, God, I'll just go get a box of donuts if I can afford it because maybe it's between paychecks or something. Or if it was in the house, I would eat it. Or, I could count up some change and go get a shot of whiskey. Alcohol was not the drug of choice for me, but I always knew it could be a problem, so I just never allowed it to be. But I'm telling you, driving by a liquor store on a bad day, you just need one of these people just to give you enough reason. And I tell you, they've given me enough. I'm stronger than that. If a 3-year-old can make a mistake, and my mistake was opening a fridge in 1986, 85, 86. Yeah, it was 85. Or 86. See. It was July, just before I turned 4. Those refrigerators back in the 80s had eggs in the door. They didn't come in cartons. I mean, maybe they did, but people took them out and put them in the door. 2 eggs fell on the ground. In the 80s, 85, 86, how much 2 eggs cost? Well, I'll tell you what it cost. It cost me and my siblings to be taken away for 6 months and placed in a worse environment. And then it's taken a lifetime to recover from that. You wonder how people become addicts. People don't become addicts because they want to. They're usually escaping something. We just don't always talk about it. And we shouldn't have to. Anyway, so on. So I can't tell you the full context on this other than the troll was gotten rid of, but my name was Bermimished, whatever the hell that word's supposed to say. So I just don't know if it's because I went to bed, curled into bed at almost 3 in the morning last night, and then I was up before 9 o'clock. I was up actually a little after 8 and realized I'd missed Johnny's morning show. So I went back and started watching. And then the messages and phone calls started again. And so, yeah, it just was crazy. And then I had an appointment that ran over. So, I'm trying to get my health in check because I need to, be above ground for my kids for many years. I'm 7 years younger than what my dad was when he died. So I'm trying my best to get healthy, but damn it. Anyways, so they got rid of the troll. And I do know it was a variation of this person's name, either with S's at the end of either name or something. I don't know because I'm not subscribed to them, so it's not like I can grab it when it happens, right? But I did go back and watch an entirety of their lives so I could get the context of what really happened. Because sometimes you walk into someone's life and it's in an uproar. That's what I walked into. And I mean, they stopped their auction. I couldn't tell when I walked in if they set up a rant or if something happened in chat. Well, it obviously happened in chat, but this isn't the first time this has happened. This has just happened coincidental. I don't think so, but because whoever it was used a variation of this other channel's name. And just so you know, it pissed me off too. But I didn't reach out to this person. I didn't reach out to them because I knew they'd reach out to me. I just thought that they'd give me the courtesy of, hey, we've been talking since the day before I did my solo live. And there's full context. It took me 1 hour and 42 minutes to screenshot our whole conversation. That way, if they decide they're going to go on and delete it or remove me from their server, I still have the content. That's on them. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm not blasting them. I am putting into context their convo with me from last night, though. So you can understand how I got here. And why I didn't wait for people to wake up. Because I don't have people's cell phones. And people's cell phones I do have, they were in bed asleep. The rest of them have been dead for upwards of close to a year now. Or over a decade. This person, she tags me in it again, or I'm assuming it. If I was using my laptop here, it might look differently than it does on this screen. But it looks like she tagged me and goes, this person or teenager, ... It's funny because I use dots, right? This person that messaged me usually don't use dots. Obviously knows you, or might even be your own family or realm. Like, what is that? Is that my realm here? Is that my realm here? What the hell is that supposed to mean? But when I opened this up, this is what I seen. And so my anxiety went up and my blood pressure went up. And, all right, so this person is, or teenager, I've got a teenager in the house, so is this person really insinuating that it's probably one of my kids? But she does mention that, yeah, this person does mention that here in a minute. And it has apparently seen me in your chats and must know that I had recently been a guest on channels. We're just going to leave it like that. And therefore chose me to impersonate. So now This is my perception. This is my opinion, okay? This is how I'm interpreting this. This person's insinuating to me that because they've come in and supported me, not bought from me, but supported me in other ways that are free, and cheered me on and everything you do for each other, that it's my fault someone impersonated them. Maybe I'm giving them what they want by coming on this live, but I'm telling you, I draw the line at my kids, and people know that. Out of friendship, I need you to tell whoever had the tech savvy to create an account and do this, not to sabotage me. All right, so here it is. Since you think I must be an influencer, okay, I've got, before I came on, I had 215 followers. 215, you have over 1,000. You have more people in your chats during your lives, even if they don't buy from you. You have mods. You have a lot of supporters, and you know that. I'm not jealous. I'm pointing out the obvious. Who the hell are you to think I have that much power over anybody? You want to talk to scapegoat? I've been a scapegoat for everybody's damn shit that falls downhill for 2 damn months. And you know what? I've not come on here and called anyone out. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of context as far as not me coming to you, but you coming to me about the channels you were on. If I wanted to hurt you, I'd have just sent them then. I'm not that way. I'm mad because you brought my kids into it. How dare you? If my package hasn't go out, you best just cancel the damn thing, because when it gets here, it's being refused and it's going back, and I expect a damn refund. And if this costs me every sale for the next 2 months or a year, if I have to rebuild my channel, because I'm standing as a mom in front of the screen at 2:44 a.m. Central Standard Time, telling you, how dare you bring my kids into it? How dare you? My kids are off limits. I don't care if they're adults. 2 of them took an oath to my damn state and this damn country for you to accuse me and them. Wake up, people. I'm sorry, I'm screaming. I'm mad because I'm a mom right now. You wanted this side of me. I told you it existed. Sorry if I woke anyone up. I'm sorry. I was thinking some of y'all probably have earbuds in. If you didn't, blew your eardrums out, send me the bill. I'll see what I can do. I'll send you fucking jewelry. I'll send you whatever. I would do anything for anyone. I would do anything to get this shit to stop. Why? Because I won't shut my channel down? This person, when all this shit started, I could go back and tell you what they told me I needed to do. I needed to leave YouTube. I needed to start a new channel. You know why I've stayed? Is people like Hippie that made me feel like family. Not because I had anything to give her. Like Lydia, who I went into her live the first time she was making jewelry, y'all. And she's singing. And she made me feel like I did when we moved to Colorado. My mom was an orphan. She had to create a community. We didn't have YouTube back then. My mom had to do the footwork for all that. We learned how to make tortillas from scratch for people of color. We're colorblind because people of color loved us unconditionally. If you go back and look at Lydia's lives over the last week for sure, especially her last one, if you see the hearts, that's me. I had a rough day, so I felt guilty if I had went in and said, hey, y'all, and everyone had said, hey, like Hippie. She would have. Lydia would have made a big deal because I was there. You know, the last 2 years, I've had every reason to start using again or become an alcoholic. Okay, I've faced a number of obstacles as a mother without other women standing beside me. Without my own mom, because she's been dead for 4 years. That's why I still have a YouTube. If I sold nothing for real, I mean, it would hurt my feelings. It would. And it would suck because I overspent a little, and I'm not talking on YouTube. We went out to dinner, not a fancy, I mean, I guess you could call it fancy. It was more than McDonald's. And then my youngest soldier called me the other day and said, Mom, because he's been sick for over a month, trying to recover. So last week was his first week, solid week back at work, and he goes, Mom, I got a question for you. And I said, what, babe? We've struggled in our relationship, okay? The only thing I refuse to do for my kids is to set myself on fire for them. But I'll walk through this hell for them and not complain. And people will see me struggle. But you'll never see me quit. You'll see me cry. You'll see me at 3 a.m. on YouTube. Probably with the consequences of people not showing up because it's too much for people on Thanksgiving week. I really considered not coming in here. But I don't know if I could have came into myself tomorrow feeling the way I did when I came on. Sorry, y'all. Accuse me of anything you want to do. Accuse me of my integrity. It'll hurt. And I'll cry. Not on here. But drug my kids in it, and you crossed that line you cannot uncross. So I hope you know that. This person, people can hurt me, and I will still let them come back. You know, because we're human, and we make mistakes, and if it's able to be made right, we should be able to make it right. So I don't know what I've done to make this person think so fucking low of me. And it's hard not to take it personal. I love Lydia. Like, I walked in, I can't even tell you, it's been a few months ago. But I know I didn't have the money to pay her anything. And she said something about sending some candy and all that. That was before her Chicago trip. And she explained how she does stuff where she'll show the beads and she'll make whatever anyone wants. And I told her, I said, well, at some point I'll order from you. I just can't do it tonight. And I feel bad when I can't, you know. Not with Lydia because I know her more now. But I did that night. I felt bad because, like, she was so sweet. But what drew me in was her singing. When she started singing, it put me back in Southeast Colorado when my mama was in with these women of color. Think of it as a sisterhood. And the mama, right? Because it was women my mama's age. But then it was their mama. And I don't remember her name, but I remember whose mama she is, and she's still alive. Um, and that's been 38 years ago, give or take. She's making tortillas, and she showed us how to make them. I couldn't tell you all the ingredients, but it was just the basic. But I could show you how to do it, and I could be put back in that moment. And there's times where I'm struggling for whatever reason, and I'll just put Lydia's on because she's live and she's singing, and she makes me feel safe. She makes me feel safe. She makes me, even as an adult, she makes me feel safe, like a mother does. No one will ever replace my mom. So it's not that, but it's just that mother, and she's able to do that through a screen. She has got a talent above just making beautiful jewelry. So I refuse to let people suggest I leave. And I've tried to prove not doing anything extra, just stepping up my game, being more consistent every day with hitting chats, hitting channels, sharing people out to show people, listen, I'm worthy. When a child is traumatized at an early age, they grow up believing they're unworthy. And so, I felt Johnny's channel. And there's some people that don't, you know, maybe care for Johnny for whatever reason. I don't know. I've just asked them if anyone brings it to me, hey, just leave me out of it, okay? Let me, I don't have a problem with them, and they don't. They're like, me and him's got history, and it's not to drag you in, it's just to say if ever there's a situation where I leave, it's because I left, not because someone chased me out, and I appreciate that. And there's other ones, but I'm using Johnny because there's a reason I'm using his name right now, and his ears are probably freaking burning. Maybe he's up now because he's on Eastern time. He doesn't have to jump in chat if he's able to see it, or he don't even have to comment. But Johnny, in my perception, is the hardest working guy I know on YouTube. I mean, not that other people aren't just as determined and hardworking, because I'm not saying that. Sorry, I heard something. I thought it might be that phone, and it's probably because it needs to be on the charger. Usually my phone's never on the chargers, and I'm in bed, so I can get enough sleep so I can get up hopefully in time for the morning shows, because there's not just one, there's a few. But Johnny welcomes everybody, right? Whether you like him or not, he welcomes everybody. There was 3 or 4 yesterday. I think it was during bingo. I wasn't able to stay in there because I was trying to get ready for my live, but then I also had an appointment that crossed into this, and so I was working with trying to figure out how to make it work so I didn't have to cancel, because the one thing you have to be is consistent. Canceling your shows isn't good. So I had people that stepped up that other people don't like, and I get that, but they stepped up and they helped me, and they didn't ask anything of me. Not that anyone does, I'm just saying. And I think it went fair. I was nervous because I've never give Mr. Stephanie my laptop and been like, do my life for me. It's my responsibility, not his. And I didn't go back and watch it. I considered it, but my appointment ran over by a lot, and I ended up being gone a whole hour and a half from my house, and I think I made a $6 sale, which ended up being a gift for someone else. But you know what? That's how it was meant to happen. Yeah, you got my email. Just send me your number, honey, and I'll text you. I get so many spams, I don't answer anyone's call. Yeah, and we did his mask that away because he helps. It's not just those in combat boats, but he helps a community of folks, you know, that are trying to get sober or are sober, the AA, NA stuff. And if he's identifiable in a public forum, uh, the consequence of that, consequences could be good, bad, or indifferent. You don't get the choice of them. So I don't get the choice of what this becomes other than just to shut it down and delete it. And I'm not going to do that because if people can't handle me when I am in mom mode, then why are you following me? Because I will tell you, I've got everything. Everything. Okay. You can see the full context, not just tonight, but everything. And that goes back to, well, the most recent me being an addict. The one thing when I got sober was that no one would have dirt on me again. I would never be beholden to anybody. So I'll put it out there before anyone else does. Not because I want my business out there, but anyone thinks they got something on me, they got something. No, come on. We'll come on screen together and you could tell them. And then we can both, compare notes. But I do mine in full context. This person, they may see this as a threat because I screenshotted it all. I'm doing this in advance because I'll tell you what, if I hadn't been proactive when it came on YouTube in the auction world, it would be my word against others. And instead, I've got I've got the version that shows both sides. I've asked no one to take sides, and I don't want anyone to take sides now. That's why I'm not blasting these other people. My point is, if any of you know anyone that's going on and being a troll and mimicking or, not really cloning someone's name, but getting it close and going on and wreaking havoc, tell them to knock it off. It's just not cool, but I don't think I know anyone like that. But, I've been fooled before. I've been bamboozled. I think I'm saying that wrong, but, I've got a lack of sleep right now. I had less than 5 hours when I got up today. But I still rose and shined. It just wasn't pretty. And then I've been going all day, and I've been building all this stuff on a channel I had nothing to do with, but there's insinuations and people think they know what these other channels are that they must be talking about me. Like, I wish I got credit for other things. Why does it always have to be the negative? There's so much good we do in the world, not just on YouTube, but in our communities. And I mean, our community. Look at this, y'all. If you weren't in my life, no guilt. I mean, there was a lot of things going on, and we're in Thanksgiving week. So I want to show you this. Okay. We went to a Thanksgiving community meal. The only thing I know we're going to have for sure is a turkey this year. I haven't went out and bought anything because I don't have the funds for it. I don't have a budget for it. I have other things that have to be done right now. And then the next question is, even if I did have the funds, what do you eat without it being loaded with sugar? I've got cookbooks. I was going to bring some of them. One of them's a diabetic one. That's what I told Mr. Stephanie. I said, why don't we look in there because it's a dessert diabetic book. There's got to be something in there. I just have to make sure it doesn't have aspartame because my doctor doesn't want me having aspartame. Because my dad died at 49 years old for cancer. And I have cancer runs on both sides of the family. When my dad was finally diagnosed, he was end stage. When I cut people off, I'm aware of the consequences. 2 years before my dad died, him and I hadn't talked since my birthday of me being like 38, 39. The last time I talked to my dad before his biopsy, the day before his biopsy, I think it was my 39th. No, no, too far ahead. I was 29. And my dad died a week and 1 day after my 31st birthday. We made amends as much as you can make amends to someone that's on their deathbed. I mean, we were both at fault for the falling out we had because we allowed someone to come between us. So when I'm done with someone, and I tell you I'm done with someone, I'm aware of the consequences. I can't take the last 2 years of my dad's life away. Take him back, right? And get him back. He was as much at fault as I was. We allowed other people to interfere. And it cost us 2 precious years, his last 2 years of his life together. Thankfully, my kids weren't a huge ploy in other people, but their relationship with their papa was affected because people just kept interfering. But that's a story for another day. So when I tell you, I don't send life preservers, believe it when I say it. And I understand the consequences of that. All right, so anyway, so don't make this person an scapegoat. It is super unfair to hurt me as collateral damage. Like, so is this person saying, like, let me read the context of it again, because, I varied a little. Out of friendship, I need you to tell whoever had the tech savvy to create an account and do this, not to scapegoat me. And she's got at least 5 explanation marks. It is super unfair to hurt me, in caps, as collateral damage. I'm really hurt and peeved about this. Okay, this is my perception. Not only is she suggesting that I know who did it, but somehow that I'm responsible for them hurting her. That's my perception. If your perception's different and you want to chime it in, go ahead. I'm not doing this to hurt this person more. I'm doing this because I can't sleep with the shit in my head. And it will do nothing but depress me. And I won't find the strength to come live and be who I am capable of being without you knowing I'm going through shit that's really no one's business, because no one deserves this, whether it's Thanksgiving week or not. Just whoever was involved in this. And I had other people call me yesterday now, right? So yesterday, I didn't get half the shit I needed done because I was on the phone. And they're going, Steph, do you know who's involved in this? And do you know it? The person that messaged me this, they're asking, right? Are they capable of creating an account and doing that in that person's channel, in their chat, to maybe whatever? I'm not going to even insinuate, but that's where my mind went. And here's the thing. And this was my honest answer, and I stand by it. I don't know. Because I don't know what other people are thinking. People do things when they want to fit in with people, and especially when they claim they will do anything to fit in. And I'm not throwing stones, because I know what it's like to want to fit in. I know what it's like to want to be accepted. I know what it's like to not want to feel rejected. It wasn't me. I'm only here because you involved my kids. I mean, you talk teenagers. I'm not the only one with the teenager. You make it known in your lives that your favorite teenager is typing in your chat. Seriously. So who's the one with the teenager? Who the hell knows if it was even a teenager? What if it was a troll? I think it was more than a troll, and I'll tell you why. Because there's this Gizmo guy. I know he's not in one person's channel, and he's not in one neighborhood. I've seen him in other neighborhoods. Okay, and I don't know who the hell that is. They think I know a lot of channels, especially late night ones. I'm not talking the one I usually frequent. I'm talking other late night ones that are usually on right now. And that person has a lot of compassion for teenagers or people that are just have nothing else to do. Because what harm are they really causing except being obnoxious for the most part? Well, yeah, maybe. But I know it's a turnoff if you're trying to do an auction and you got people wanting to bid. So it just disrupts things. So people like Gizmo, who knows if they're a teenager or a young adult, someone in college and just freaking bored out of their mind, don't have anything better to do. But that's disruptive too. People come on to live auctions to sell because they need to for whatever damn reason, and no matter where they get the product. Okay, if they're doing something shady, they're going to get caught. Eventually, it always happens. I'm just saying. If someone else is coming in to bid or see what someone's bringing on, that person may only have $20 budget, right, for the whole damn month. Okay, but they're choosing to come into someone's channel because they know that person has good quality product and they're willing to let it go for a little or nothing. I will tell you, I was that person, not on YouTube, but it started with eBay, right? You remember when eBay first started? And I mean, I think when they first actually started, it was the auctions, and I always hated those because, like, if you were on dial-up, it was a pain in the ass. But still, I will tell you, I had a baby, and the fool my mama raised had a baby on the same day, same year. Our daughters are less than 8 hours apart, so we called them the twin cousins. So I went on to eBay and I started buying twin auctions, where mothers that were selling their twins' clothes, I would get them super cheap, and half of the outfits, because most twins have the same outfits, right? So half that lot would go to my niece, and the other half I kept for my daughter. I didn't come on to YouTube to steal anyone's followers, subscribers, buyers, or whatever. I got news for you. Last week, I didn't even bust $80 in profit before or after fees. Okay? Most weeks, after my fees and after, if I don't have stuff I can reuse because maybe it was damaged during shipment, so I don't use maybe those packing materials, I have to go buy more. Where do you think that money comes from? Okay, it's not to make anyone feel guilty, because it's not. It's just, it is what it is right now. I'm grateful just to have exposure, but I want it to be good exposure. So yeah, we'll see what the consequences of this is. Hopefully I can, see it through. Hey, good morning, April. Sorry. This is not something I ever wanted to have to do, and I hope I don't ever have to do another one. So I'm hoping this is the first and the last, and people can just reference back. Don't ever drag Steph's kids, whether they're adults or otherwise, in the middle of your chaosness, because she will not put up with it. She will not go to bed and let this simmer. She will take it to YouTube. She won't blast your name. And not that I can't, but just because I won't. That's who I am. That's my integrity. Alright, so it says collateral damage. I'm really hurt and peeved about this. Well, hell, so was I. Dude, I cried through that damn live because, not because of that channel, right? I could care less, really, I could. That channel has damaged me in so many ways, and I've let it go, and I've let it go, and I've let it go, not because I didn't have enough to come and prove it, but that's not who I am. That's something the old stuff, the stuff that was in a drug addiction would do. Hey, Robin, I love that lifestyle behind, and I'm telling y'all, in the last 2 months, these people made me feel like I'm in an active addiction with their bullshit and pettiness, including this person. But I've tried to look aside from it and see this person for who they are and not the bullshit that surrounds them. Then she goes on, and as it looks like she tagged me again. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just separating her. But I don't know why. She almost had to have tagged me. And it goes, I don't think that it was you. All right, so that comment, and it goes further. It's because I told her, I said, let me see. It should. So let me go back up a minute. It should show. Okay, that's where hers started. Maybe she already removed me. I don't know. Okay, no, that's where it is, because I commented on the obvious where she said that it was a teenager and was assuming, obviously, that I know who it is. I said, I'm aware of things that happened this weekend because other channels reached out to me. I'm going to ask you not to drag my family into whatever happened happened on other channels. We do not visit. I always give you, all right, just a second. On other channels, we do not visit. So she knows who I'm talking about because I do not name these people. She knows who I'm talking about. You have to go back weeks. She needs to go back to October 7th and 8th. And she really needs to read the context of her approach to me. Not what I said, but what she said. If I wanted to damage her, I have it. I don't want to damage her. I cared about her. But she involved my kids. I have a teenager. Yes, she's 18. But my teenager is a vulnerable young adult. And she knows it. So don't drag my teenager into it. My teenager is sweet. She wants to fit in too. She's got more subscribers than I do, y'all. By over double. Her way of coping during COVID, she turned to YouTube. But we had a set of perimeters that she had to stand to stay safe on YouTube and other platforms because she's a young woman. She has turned 18 this summer. During all the shit. But no one can tell because when we come on screen, no matter if we were on someone else's channel, it was business, right? Everybody's facing something. We don't all talk about it. We don't all put it out there because, a lot of us aren't the same people we were a year ago or 5 years ago or a decade ago. I know I'm not. A decade ago, I didn't know how I was going to get a year of sobriety. I wasn't sure at this point 10 years ago if my marriage was going to survive me getting sober. Our chance was 1% because we used together. Disclosure or drug of choice was prescription pain pills. We didn't start out to be addicts. It happened. And mine happened because of shit that happened 39 years ago. I'm 42. Do the math. Mine was open in a fridge of a door, and 2 eggs in the year 85, 86 fell on the ground. I still cannot do sunny side eggs. I still can't. All because we were hungry. It was me and 2 siblings. I was the oldest. I was 3. All we wanted was food, and it changed the trajectory of our lives forever because of opening our refrigerator door. Who the hell puts that responsibility on a 3-year-old? And yeah, I still have faith. God protected me that day. Seriously, it could have been much worse. There's people that don't survive what we did that day. There's people that don't survive being in foster care because they're put in environments worse than what they were taken from. And my mom wasn't even involved, or else she was at work when this shit happened. So just full disclosure. I mean, she's gone now, but she deserves the world, if it's going to be on a public platform, to know she was at work while we were being physically abused over 2 eggs falling out of a refrigerator. Anyway. So I'm aware of the things that happened this weekend. Now, mind you, it doesn't matter if any of you ever text me, email me, get me on another platform. Unless I know you, I'm going to talk in about the same manner, because there's a lot of people who will behave as they're your friend. And I'm not talking just, okay, but just in general. I have to protect myself, because it's not just me. My behavior doesn't just affect my channel. It affects everyone who has supported me from day one. People who have stood beside me, not behind me, beside me, in the shadows as I've weathered this damn storm quietly. So the biggest consequence will be when I wake up tomorrow and I've lost any of them. But I can't tolerate this shit no more. So I'm willing to have a rant because I'm a mom and I'm mad. How dare someone involve my kids in their bullshit? This person knew the type of trauma they were getting into. But instead, it's my fault and it's my family's. Come on. We're trying to survive. We're trying to make sales in spite of some people. We're trying to bring other things. We freaking went to Kansas City and we sourced. We didn't blow a budget. I only used cash. I used the $20 I took to Kansas City. That was a budget I went with. If any of y'all were the 2 old guys, and I'm not saying this to draw attention to them, they're great people. They're great. They're so much better in person, and what I mean by that is they're no less genuine, but they're in real life. Like, you can hug them. Mark's a hugger. My dad's been gone for over a decade. My cousin Brian, which was my dad's cousin, has been gone for almost a year. So, having a hug from those guys, I needed that. The last 2 months have been hard as hell. There's been days where I've had to talk myself out, go into a liquor store, not because I was an alcoholic, but because I always knew it could be a problem. Because I'm not going to cope that way. This person I get reached out to me because they're hurt, and they, for whatever reason, whether they, in their head, it made sense that it had to be me or someone I love and care about that did this, or because I'm some influencer. You got almost 10 times the people that I do. Give me a break. I will just say, the one thing I know for sure is shit rolls downhill, so it's coming. That's not a threat, I'm just saying. I don't want this person to be harmed any more than they have been. I cried through that live, y'all, because this is someone I care about. This is someone I've talked to daily. Whether it's a text or a phone call or something. Even in spite of them trying to get me just to leave YouTube in the beginning of all the chaosness on other channels. Like, I did something wrong. The only thing I did was offend somebody, and they brought it to YouTube. And then it was a snowball effect. And I've tried to weather it, and I've tried not to involve anyone or any channel. Let people misunderstand me, because I'm all right with that. People have misunderstood me a lot in my life, and I'm all right with that. I'm not all right with losing my community because of this bullshit. I'm done feeling alone. April, my child came out 2 years ago, the day after I turned 40. It is not that they came out, but I had no one. My husband and I raised our kids colorblind and to be who they are. But my child come out after the age of 21. There is so many people and communities that will help people, parents, understand, support them, whatever, when their kids identify as anything, okay? If they're under the age 18, it's hard to crack that support barrier after that. I've tried for 2 years. Even at the expense of them knowing that my child serves in the military. Which even compounds it more. So I'm aware, just coming on and doing this could reflect on them in so many ways. But I'll tell you what affects them more is if I let this person drive me to insanity, which is where I think it's going. Maybe not with this person. I'm not giving my community up. I've done nothing wrong. I am who I am. I'm the same damn person. Like right now, I don't know if I'd let anyone in my house. My house looks like a storage unit. 9/11, after we got back, 9/11 this year, after we got back from the East Coast, one of our military families had donated a microwave because they have a toddler, and that toddler kept putting stuff in the microwave and turning it on. And so they donated it to us because they didn't want the damn thing to blow up or the house. They live on post. And so Mr. Stephanie and I went and got it. And we decided we weren't going to donate it to another family. We're going to put it in our outreach / personal storage unit. We had never had a problem with it. And so we put it in there. It also had my daughter's brand new bike she had for Christmas in there. She never rode it. It had the TV my dad spent the last 2 months of his life watching in there. It's all gone. Okay, so what I had left from my cousin, so it's my dad's first cousin, their dad, it's my grandma, and his dad were siblings. What I have left of his stuff, thank God, I mean, they did steal some of his stuff, but most of his stuff was back in the back of my storage unit, and we either interrupted, not them in progress, but they didn't cut the lock. Someone had a key. That lock was provided by the storage company. So maybe we should have went and got a new lock or something, but typically when a storage unit gives you a lock, you have to use it. That was 9/11 of this year. So we literally loaded everything of any value, whether it be our outreach, that's stuff that's donated or that we've acquired through our own funds, that it's given away for free. No one has to pay a thing. They don't have to show proof of the need. They just have to have that need. And we filled our vehicles with it. Well, we could only do that for so long, so we brought most of it in the house. Then we go to the East Coast. And then we go to the Eastern Seaboard. We end up in Vermont. That's where I got this from. Where the hell is it? I don't know where it is. It's probably over here somewhere. I've got some, I don't know, I'll find it later. Some syrup from Vermont. You know, when you think Vermont, you think of the country stores and everything. My bucket list thing was to find a country store, go in and get something from that region, and we did. Mine was a little maple jar of syrup from Vermont. We still haven't used it. We're sugar free, but that's a natural sugar. My doctor says, all right, we just need to use it in moderation. So that's going to be our sweetener for Thanksgiving. We just got to figure out sides that we can do where we don't have a sugar buzz, because we've been sugar free for over 2 months. And that's the other thing is, what do I do? What do I do to cope? My healthcare team, before I called Mr. Stephanie during the live he was on, to let him know, hey, I'm right over, I'm 20 minutes out, I'm sorry, was my healthcare team said, Stephanie, are you going to be okay this evening? Because, like, there was a lot of heavy stuff that I had to deal with during my visit. I'll be okay. I want y'all to know that now. I don't have cancer. There's a lot of that crap going around. People telling other people get cancer when they don't. Or that they're dying or something. I don't mean that person, but other people talking about people. So it's not like that. It's just I got help and I have the right to keep it. So, but I insured my provider. Listen, I'm good. I've got 20 minutes, 20 miles. I will calm myself down before I leave, and I'll make it home safe. And, you know, and I did. And I came live. I mean, you could tell I probably looked like this because I had been ugly, crying a lot. Just because it was a lot during that visit. And, you know, I haven't even took all that in because, like, Mr. Stephanie had just went to bed. This came in right before midnight. He went to bed 20, 30 minutes before this. And I told him before he went to bed, I was like, hey, I've got to do a couple of emails because I emailed some folks earlier in the week, and I needed to make sure nothing was in my spam. And then my phone starts blowing up. Well, here's the thing. That's why I've got two. This is my business / outreach. Anyone that really needs me blows this phone up. No one hardly gets this number because it's attached to my military children. And both my military children are not married. They are still legally single. Meaning, they require me to hold my shit together. So if this was all a deliberate thing to set me off and make me come live, maybe I'd be chased off YouTube. Good luck. I'd rather have fewer followers. I don't mean like I don't care about everyone that's following me. But if I stay at 215 followers for the next year because I came live tonight, because I'm drawing the sand saying, back the hell off my family because I'm not moving that boundary, then it is what it is. So I'll reread what I put because I don't think I got very far in it. It says, so me to her, because like I said, I had just read where she had put the teenager or I knew or something. I'm aware of the things that happened this weekend. You hear me say this weekend, not last night, right? Which means I've seen all the behavior this person's talking about on the whole weekend that they were live, whether they were on their channel or someone else's. Because I support this person. Well, I did. I'm aware of the things that happened this weekend because other channels reached out to me. I'm going to ask you not to drag my family into whatever happened on other channels we do not visit. Okay, this is not news to her. She knows I do not visit these channels. She knows my family does not visit these channels. because we do not support them in any way. We've supported them enough and not been refunded. Yeah, I've got all the proof. So it's not a jab. I'm willing to take the hit. I've been willing to just be like, yeah, I took a financial loss and I don't have to air it out to everybody. Not because I'm ashamed. The only thing I'm ever remotely upset about is I allowed it to get out of hand. I'm the one that chose to continue sending money to these people. My mama didn't raise a full, well, my mama did raise a full, but it wasn't me. Except the summer. The summer I did a pretty good job showing that she could have raised two of them. Anyway. I'd always give you the benefit of the doubt before assuming, so please give me that as well. Mind you, I did not have a good day yesterday, and I still came on live when I got home. There's a reason why I let Mr. Stephanie finish, because I needed to get in a headset, even though I couldn't decompress from my appointment or the day before I came, because when I come on, I want to give the best, because I know there are many of us. Some people struggling in a different way, but with a similar heartache. And this week's hard enough. No one, you know? I'd always give you the benefit of the doubt before assuming, so please give me that as well. I've had a rough medical day, hence why Mr. Stephanie stepped in for me so I could be at a very important health appointment. So forgive me, and I don't mind sharing, just don't read into it more. I do not have cancer. I'm not dying. Stepped in for me so I could be at a very important health appointment. So forgive me if I'm glancing through versus reading everything, even though it says ready. My phone's stupid when I'm typing fast. All at once. Give me a sec and I'll do my best to read the entirety. FYI, I haven't changed watching your channel during your life, etc. I just have not been active in chat because I have a lot going on off the screen medical wise. This person also knows that. They don't know the full context. I don't want them to know because I know their associations with other people, not because they will go speak about me to other people, but I mean, there's stuff between her and I, from her to me, about not anyone in this chat. So let's just be clear there. And I'm not saying that to inflame anything because I don't want to upset anyone. But if I wanted to do damage, she gave me everything October 7th and 8th. And it's the channels she's talking about. That's not an exaggeration. I've got the screenshots. If I wanted to hurt her, I've got these people's emails. Problem is, they don't need no help. I hope whoever's responsible, whether it's them or someone they know or the people they suspect of doing this, I hope they're happy because they've disrupted other people's lives. You know, this channel, not mine. My channel's new. I can always reset, right? I think I got enough genuine people that know I'm who I am. I might be a little more bitchy in real life because you have to watch what you say on here, meaning the cuss words. And I do it respectfully because, you know, intelligence isn't found in cuss words, but it does help relieve some stress once in a while. You know, I'm on with another channel. And that's the thing. I took that into account too, that could be a consequence. I'm on with another channel every week through next month. That's next month. I have the opportunity to be on someone else's channel that I admire. These people can cancel on me, and if they do, I understand. I just hope they understand. As a mom, I can't take it no more. No one should have to, attack me. Don't attack my kids. My kids are everything. Give me a second, and I'll do my best to read the entirety. FYI, I haven't changed watching your channel, doing your lives, during your lives, etc. I just have not been active in chat because I have a lot going on off the screen medical wise. I do hope I just read your messages incorrectly because of the nature of my rough day. I'm a bit emotional. I'm not in the mood to talk because at this point, she's calling me. Not right now, but right? So I'm trying to put listen because I was mad because the first thing I read was it's a teenager, someone da 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 da, and so the next thing she puts is I'm not accusing you of anything. Maybe it's just because I'm hormonal for one, which I'm going through the change of life, y'all. It's not as easy as some people make it. With that said, I don't have as rough as others. With that, it's Thanksgiving week. It's my first major holiday. Not that we haven't had other special holidays, but it's my major holiday. Without one of the people that you call them and you say I need you, and it's not why or anything. It's where are you? Okay, my cousin drove hours and hundreds of miles from another state just to check on me when we didn't live in the same state. This man loved me unconditionally. Even when we couldn't understand each other and see eye to eye, we still loved each other. And we still had each other's backs. And I know people have that with me. And I'm not talking here, not that everybody I know, I tell you what, before all this blew up on the screen, not tonight, but just over the last 8 weeks, 9 weeks, I already had a pretty good indication who was who and where they stood, which means their integrity, their character. Not that they would choose sides. I mean, I knew there would be people that did, and the ones that did, that's on them. Because I didn't ask anyone to choose sides. I didn't even bring my side to the table. And here's my thing. Choose you. Whenever people have a falling out, whether it's YouTube, another platform, don't choose either side, right? Because sometimes it's just a misunderstanding, and eventually they will talk. This situation's different. I'm not talking this tonight. I'm talking the stuff I don't talk about. That bridge was burned. I do not send life preservers. You don't hurt me, intentionally hurt me, and get away with it. You just don't. I cut my losses and I'm over it. It wasn't a business thing. It was personal. So, anyway. So, she goes on to say, I'm not accusing you of anything. And she put you in all caps. I think that somebody who likes you, loves you, supports you, is thinking that they are helping you by going into other chats and making accusations, causing chaos, or get them back for what they have done to you. For one, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going to let you know I've been renting. I've been renting as a mama. And I'm not going to go back through it. But someone blew my phone up right before midnight, 12 to 14 separate times, accusing me of the drama that they've been going through since they arrived on someone else's channel. Now, I'm as transparent as I can be with a lot of people. Good morning, Johnny. When I tell you I have to censor certain things, it's because I have to, because I'm a military mom. I live in a military community, and I help the military community, whether they're active duty or not, no matter whether they're older than Johnny as a veteran or not. I had one we helped recently. That's not the point. That's not what I'm bringing here. My kids are off limits, and it doesn't matter that they're adults. It doesn't matter that two of them wear combat boots. They have a mom that's a military mom and takes no shit, who believes a lot of people are her extended family. Some of those people are here. And I believe all of y'all, just so you know, are worth wearing orange over. These people, this drama isn't worth it. But I'm tired of it impacting my life off a screen, and me having to come on during my committed time on lives and pretending I'm okay when my heart's being ripped out because people have nothing better to do. Like, listen to this again. She puts, I'm not accusing you of anything. I think that somebody who likes you, loves you, supports you, is thinking they're helping you. Like, how the hell are they helping me? Last week, do you want the printout of my PayPal? September, I was in the negative. October, I only made $16. Who the hell knows what November is? Last week, I don't even know if I broke even. But that's not the point, and that's no one's damn business. So how does she think people are helping me? To get even with someone? I got news for you. I've got it. It's enough for a federal investigation. I'm trying to stay out of that. It scares me. I've asked to be left out of that investigation unless I'm subpoenaed. But that brings another thing, okay? Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm sorry too. And I'm sorry if I'm disappointing anyone with this. But I'm telling you, the longer this goes on, and the more people that come out in some way, and some of them I think are just fishing. But I'm realizing my story isn't unique and it didn't happen just to me. This has been going on for a long time, and I'm not talking the stuff that happened 4 years ago. I'm talking people on American soil. But I'm not going to blast them, because as much as they deserve whatever is coming to them eventually, because karma comes, that's for them. It's not for me. I've already forgiven them. But if they're behind this person sending me at least 12 back-to-back messages right before midnight, and this person can't have enough compassion to add a hard day defending their ass, and I still had to make my medical appointment. Thank you, Johnny. I'm worried about disappointing a few of y'all, because you don't bring things to the tube. It's the last resort. But if I had woke up Mr. Stephanie, his blood pressure would have been up. He's not on blood pressure meds no more. And I just started having make calls to people in the middle of the night saying, hey, can you calm him down? Because I don't want to be in the hospital tonight with him. Because he's at his breaking point. Because the stress has put me under so much stress. So this is like where I draw the line with people. Like, the shit needs to stop. So if anyone's behaving in the manner she's accusing, and I'm not accusing anyone, I think it's either a troll that this other channel, not this one, right? But the one this person was on, because it was a problem when I was in their channels and during the summertime. They had a troll that was coming on and accusing them of several different things. But this person, I guess, wasn't in their channel during that time or on there often enough. You know? And I went back, it took me an hour. Think about this. Anyone that has ever had to screenshot a conversation. This conversation goes from last night to September 16th, the day before I did my solo. It took me an hour and 42 minutes to screenshot where things overlap. There might be a couple extra screenshots because I wasn't sure, because some of it blends. And, I've had a long damn day. I mean, this time yesterday I was in bed, but I was up a little after 8. I missed Johnny's morning show, went back and watched most of it. And then the cycle began again. And so I took to defending this person, going, no, yes, I was on last night. No, I wasn't on watching. Someone called me. And so I went on to see what the hell was going on. I got overwhelmed with it because their chat was going crazy. They had obviously either had a Q&A that went crazy, or they stopped the auction. Well, I can tell you, after Mr. Stephanie went to bed last night, I went back to their live and I started it from the beginning because I wanted to know the full context of what happened. I wanted the energy of the room, the energy of the chat, and I wanted to see if maybe any of them, not that they give multiple people reasons to behave that way, but that's not the point. That's not to justify people behaving badly on people's channels, people's chats, because it doesn't just affect that channel. It affects everybody in the chat. It affects people those channels associate with. I mean, there's mega people that support these channels, y'all. These people depend on their incomes. Some of it's only supplemental, but some of it's more than supplemental. This affects everybody, and it affects the buyers too. So shame on anyone, and shame on the person that thought this was a friend of mine. With that said, I've always kept my guard up, not just with this one. Johnny's another good example. The two old guys, they're a little different, and I only say that because I met them in person, right? I hugged both of them a couple times. It was good to have a man, other than my husband, hug me like a dad would without being my dad, right? There's something about having that security of just being in that moment for a moment without any expectation and knowing, hey, for a moment, this person gives a shit about you. No, they really give a shit about everybody that they interact with on YouTube and off. If y'all ever get the chance to meet the two old guys, I recommend it. If you got a problem with them, I mean, you're able to vent it to me in an email. Please don't, because I'm going to just tell you, it's fine to tell me that y'all got history, but don't bring me into your drama. But this is what I got from Mike and Mark. I'm collecting emerald glass and anything emerald right now, and ruby. Mr. Stephanie went ahead and showed this yesterday. We sourced that just off the estate sale. It wasn't at the estate sale that they recommended for us. That thing's heavy and it comped for a lot. But, yeah. It's people like Johnny. It's people like Hippie. Like, I miss her when I don't see her in someone's chat. I'm not talking the days I'm selling, right? I'm talking Lydia's, which I think I find her in Lydia's anyway. But if she's got something going on and I missed her and she's already left chat, I'm like, damn it, I want to say hi to her. Of course, I've got her email. I can drop her an email. But it's not the same, because when you're live in live chat, I mean, that's where you build your relationships. Johnny from day one has welcomed me. The two old guys, and I just recently started buying from them both. I mean, I had two old guys merch before I ever bought from them. It's actually, I think, the first thing as a buyer. Well, I wasn't even a buyer yet. It was selling with friends it was on Janen's. I'm saying their name wrong, I'm sure. I'm terrible with names, y'all. Let me see. I know it was right here. I've got tape and everything on here. It's, who the hell knows where it is right now. But it's the two old guys tape measure. The thing, right? Mine blew up. That's what I'm saying, because neither of my adult kids will own up to it. They want to blame the dogs. The dogs can't come over here because I have a baby gate. And the thing was sitting up on my desk. It just blew up. So I'm thinking someone dropped it, stepped on it, whatever, and decided, well, we'll just sit it back up here and let mom find it that way. And it wasn't a good thing. But, you know, I don't mind people questioning my integrity. I don't mind people questioning my motives. I question a lot of people's motives. But when they affect my relationships, not even the business ones, those ones do piss me off, because I'm trying to build my business. And my business isn't just for me. I mean, eventually I need it profitable, but it's to fund my outreach so I can do more without it coming out of my bottom line for my finances at home. That's what it was meant to be. We'll eventually, I think, get there. This challenge coin, I received it August. What day are we on? We're on the 26th. Yeah. All right. So the importance is tomorrow's Johnny. No, the 28th is Johnny's. See, I got my days wrong. Johnny's 5-year whatever anniversary. Sorry, not whatever. Anniversary for YouTube. What's interesting is we were driving from the East Coast with Brian, my cousin that passed away in January. See, there I go again. I need to get some sleep, but this is where it's went. It's people got in my damn head. I'm gonna read this because that's where it is. That's what I'm doing. You know, slow and steady wins a race, and I'm willing to be misunderstood. I'm willing to be the bad guy, but don't blow up my phone. Don't accuse me. Don't suggest my teenager who is going through a medical crisis that isn't over that I have not put out there, okay? I am stressed to hear. I will tell you every day because I know someone else is going through something, okay? My child is going through something life altering if we don't get it turned around, and this has been this way since I was live the night with Wonder Woman. Okay, not everybody knows. We had a medical crisis that night. We spent the whole night in the ER. And then it's been a series of things since then. So for this person to put, it's got to be a teenager, Well, is it your favorite teenager that comes in your life? Because it sure as hell ain't mine. Because she's doing everything to get healthy so she don't die. No, she's not terminally ill. But she does have a life-threatening medical condition that is not resolved. Y'all, we put on a brave front. I've had two since I was 3 years old, so it's just a given. I'm good with being the one that catches the shit if they're leaving other people alone. Do not bring my kids into it. That's where I crossed the line, and that's why I came live. So yeah, I'm gonna read the context of this again so we can get through this. Because she ends it. Because she leaves because I will not answer her phone calls. Trust me, when I'm mad, it's not good to have me on the phone, especially if you've offended me, whether or not it's my fault I'm offended or yours. It's just not good to talk to me on the phone. She goes, I am not accusing you, and she has not and you in caps of anything. I think that somebody who likes you, loves you, supports you is thinking they are helping you by going into other chats to make accusations. Well, I tell you what, I did watch that full live in its entirety. If it's the one where they got rid of them, they're not far off from the truth. I will just tell you that. But I don't have to elaborate that. So you do your research, because everyone needs to educate themselves in what the government gives free to people. Now, how that person acquires that, that's different. I'm not accusing anyone anything. I don't have time to. I don't have the energy to. It's not my business. Because causing chaos or getting them back for what you have done to them. For one, what the hell have I done to them, or what have they done to me? Well, what they've done to me, I can prove to everybody. Here's the thing. We're all going through something. We're all surviving something. Some of us are just lost people in our lives that mean everything. Some of us are lost our Northern Star, and we're trying to figure out, where our bearings are. Some of it's very fresh, and y'all know some of them. Please love on those people. It's not easy. It is not easy to be without your Northern Star. And I know a lot of y'all know that, because you've had to experience that too. I lost both my parents in my 30s, and I've had to face my hardest struggles as a parent without any support. So I will not give up my community. Kiss my ass to all the haters. You're going to have to keep going. Move on. I am not focused on you. My focus has been on my stuff, on taking care of my people, whether it's boots on the ground, helping with neighbors events, my neighbors in combat boots, even at the expense of me not getting a cell that night. I don't know what this person that I've been talking to since the day before my solo live, who's portrayed themselves as caring and everything else. But I'm telling her, if she hasn't seen it yet and she's going to come back and watch this replay, I doubt she'll comment, but go back to the 7th and the 8th of our conversation and read. I've already screenshotted because I'm aware that this is not my platform and you're capable of removing me. I'm good with it. I've got all the screenshots. But if I wanted to hurt you, you gave me all the proof to do it. I could send it to those channels. And I'm talking the ones you're talking about tonight or earlier tonight. I could have done it. I could have done it anytime. Because you called these channels out by name. I'm not that person. For one, they've harmed me and my family in ways you have no idea. I did not bring anyone into it. The only time I've said anything to any channel, and Johnny can elaborate if he wants, and otherwise he don't have to. But his channel was the channel in the last 3 weeks where I had another channel take advantage, and this is my perception, not Johnny's, y'all. This is me, not Johnny. I'm telling you where it happened at. All right? Where I was commenting with a reseller I've never bought something from. And it had to do with sobriety. Y'all, I just got over my 10 years. And I want y'all to know, since September, almost every day, I haven't craved wanting to lapse or relapse. I'm telling you, if I lapsed, I would relapse and I would die. That's the reason why I got sober. Because my kids were worth it. And after about 9 months, I realized I was worth it too. But this other reseller, and she can see this and comment later if she wants. But I'm not drawing attention to them. Okay, but I'm telling you. Because other people were in that chat. I took it out of chat because that's what you do, okay? But it was a recovery book. It was bought and gifted to me. I had to politely decline. I did not decline it in the chat. I took it to the channel owner, which happened to be Johnny. And I'm sorry, Johnny, I'm calling you out that way. You don't have to put the context of it. But I just politely, in an email, said, Johnny, I'm sorry I have to even involve you. And I'm paraphrasing y'all, okay? But if he wanted to show the email, I wouldn't be ashamed of it. And it just said, I have to politely decline this because my legal counsel, meaning I've talked to an attorney. They've seen everything in context, not for tonight, but for the other situation, and I cannot be involved. I cannot accept. Here's my issue. I don't have a history with this reseller, right? I need you to handle it. And I'm paraphrasing, okay, y'all? And I worried because I'm like, I've never involved anyone in this. And now someone I admire. And I'm not saying that because he's in my chat. I admire him. He gives me the strength to come on, even if I'm having a hard day, and be in the chats when I'm not in bed still sleeping. Usually, y'all, when I'm high or hey or whatever, y'all gotta know I'm still in bed. But I literally, I grab my glasses because they're on the end table. So I grab my glasses, I put them on. It's this phone because this is my YouTube phone, right? I turn it on, look at the time. And as long as it's not 8 o'clock my time, is it 8 o'clock my time? No. I know if it's not 8 o'clock my time, Johnny's for sure still on. So I jump in. Because usually if it's less than 10 minutes, I try not to jump in. I might come in, but I don't come in the chat. I know you did, and I appreciate that. And, that was the thing, Johnny. I worried. I really did because I admire, and now I'm bringing someone in. I made sure he knew, hey, I'm not trying to create nothing. I didn't put anything in chat. And I did actually tell him, hey, I'm going to take a step back. Because I didn't want him to think I just disappeared. I actually kept the chat open. I listened. I just went to work. And, that's just what I do. I will tell y'all, if you see the loves, I know other people do them, so it's not necessarily always me. But if I'm usually in your chats and I ain't been up like I am right now, if it's at the end or something important's going around, or I know that you're going to be looking at the screen, you see hearts, it's just my way of politely saying, hey, but I don't want to jump in chat. I was raised when you walked in a room, you announced yourself. I feel the same way with chat when I say, hey, y'all, and I try to do blanket hellos, heys, whatever, and some people I think get offended because it's a blanket. Well, I do the blankets because sometimes I'm busy, but I want to come in and just say, hey, I'm thinking of y'all, right? But everyone starts jumping in because everybody is just that way as a community. And I feel guilty if I don't acknowledge people. And I don't want people to ever think that, hey, stuff's too busy for them. Hell, my hands hurt. My hands have hurt more in the last few months. That's the one thing I love about you, Cajun, Johnny. Y'all, if I ever call him Cajun in a chat, well, I'm a mom, so right, when I say Cajun, that's to get his attention. And I know you do, and I don't hold it against you. Like, there might be someone I have a disagreement with, not to do with this, right? And I see you, but that's you. That's who you are. And that's the thing. I ask people to stay neutral, and I know it's hard for people to stay neutral, especially when you think you need to choose sides, just in general for anyone. Here's the thing. If you got to choose a side, choose yourself. Let them weather out the storm. If that relationship is meant to survive, it will. If it's not, then you'll figure out how to make it work with both people, or you won't. But if there's anyone, seriously, that I'm associated with, not that I believe there's anyone I am, but there is, responsible for either setting up an account that would portray in some way this person, do me a favor and just delete me. For real. Because if I find out later and you are following me, we're going to have issues. We might have a shout out. Because I don't play that way. I don't. That's the shit we used to do back in the day when, we had to survive because we had to hide the fact that we were drug addicts and that we did shady shit. When I got sober, I said, no one's going to have the dirt on me anymore. I'm not going to be beholden to anyone, and that includes a man. And I love Mr. Stephanie. Sometimes when I went sugar free, the first 3 days I didn't know if I liked myself. The next 3 days I wasn't sure why the hell I still had him. And sugar's a drug, y'all. That's the reason why I haven't went back to it. I've got stuff I can sell. This stuff, it's got sugar in it. But I think these are expired. They're still in their window, but they can't. Yeah, they expired last month. I've got stuff to sell. You know, I've got stuff I can let go for a couple bucks. I have a $2 Tuesday today. I've got to get some rest and all that. And now that I've been it, but I think I've made my point with this person. And if they're offended by anything I said tonight, that's on them. That's on them. I'm responsible for coming on here, but I did not blast them. Yes, I read a lot of the context of what they were saying. But I didn't blast their name because no one deserves that. I know this person was hurt and upset. And when people are hurt and upset, they lash out. And maybe that's what it was, but it was the wrong freaking day to lash out at me. If they'd have been half the woman that they say they are, because that was what I'm getting to, because the next response I put, was to get back at what they have done to you. Oh, so I'm assuming she must be thinking whoever's behind this is getting back at that channel or her, maybe, or both, because of what they did to me. Well, unless they can get me over the 1K between these two channels back in my account, they can't help me. So they're only hurting our community. So trust me, it's not helping anybody. I don't stand behind people that play this way, and I'm not talking to her. I understand why she's upset. I understand why she's hurt. But don't go after someone who, behind the scenes, not just on YouTube, but behind the scenes, has sat there and encouraged you and done so much, right? I don't look for recognition on it. I know what it's like not to have that encouragement and not to have that one that believes in you. And she's got multiple people that believe in her. She's got a lot going on, and more than this weekend. So I put this. This was my response. I'm dealing with. Remember, I'm not dying, and I don't have cancer. I'm dealing with life-altering stuff that I've kept quiet because I don't want it a focal point or discuss between others. A lot of other channels, I'm not going to name names, will pick things that people are saying and they'll add it up and they'll go on to their channel and they'll be like, I need you to pray, which I don't mind people praying, right? But they'll be like, I need you to pray for so-and-so. And they'll be like, oh yeah, they're dying of cancer. That was taken out of context. Not me, it was another channel. Come on, people, So, I don't want it to be a focal point or discuss between others. Please give me a moment. My emotions are raw. I don't need any more shit, but it says shot from because I name who without naming their actual legal names. So let me refocus and read, and then I'll respond, please, to this person. I'm not going to call their name out. Today was one hard day for me, and I'm talking off screen. And her next response is, I just don't want my name used. Pretty please. I haven't had your damn name in my mouth. Sorry, this is my response in real time, because some of it I didn't read until now. And she goes to the life-altering, da-da-da. I'm sorry for whatever secret medical stuff you were going through. Listen, HIPAA is not secret. It's a right we have as Americans. So like it or not, I don't trust some of the people you're associated with. It's not you. So back off. I will not apologize for exercising my HIPAA right. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. Some of y'all know have earbuds in. So now I understand. It's going through on with you or your family. You know what? My 18-year-old has a life-threatening medical condition, and you know some of it. So back the hell off. It's not made up. It happened while Wonder Woman was on with us. But you know what? You can't tell. The only one that knew was Wonder Woman and Jess. And then the full extent, it took over the damn weekend for us to get results. So, no. But anyway, never mind. I thought that we could set the personal aside. What are you talking personal? Isn't all this personal? For just a moment in caps, and just talk about this as businesswomen. Really? You come to me accusing me and my realm and my teenager and my kids, and it's not personal. Maybe it isn't to you, but it is me. And just talk as businesswoman. But I'm too tired for this. Good night. Urgh. Really? You brought this drama to me, to my phone. But again, I want to remind you, this is one author of this tonight. That took me an hour and 42 minutes to screenshot our entire conversation. Go back to October 7th and 8th. It's not a threat. If I wanted to hurt you with these channels or any other channel, including people that's in my chat right now, I have their emails. I could do it. I am not that vindictive. Now, 10 years ago when I was a drug addict, I sure as hell would have. Thank God I'm sober. Damn, that felt good. Now, I don't know if that was even remotely anything that you went through 4 years ago, Johnny, but I watched a lot of that live, and I tell you, we're going to leave the contact stuff. I know there'll probably be certain people that understand what I'm talking about, but I shouldn't have to bring it all to the tube, right? We should all know. Everything's with Jess is fine. She almost fractured her ankle. You know, she rolled it both ways. And that's why I think I was on with the two guys. I wasn't on panel, but I was in their chat. It was a Sunday, so I almost had to have been there. I said, be right back. That was like a month ago, a little over a month ago. I said, be right back. And in an instant, I said, I have to go. Well, everybody that knows me knows I'm a military mom. And if I ever just say, be right back, or I got to go, or there's a reason. You know, we drove hours away to get Jess because Jess was not physically fit to drive home because she was injured. This person knew. This person has on the same app that she's messaging me the shit and all the other shit she's done. You know, there's things I might have said here or there. I'll tell you what. I can print it in full. I don't need to, but if I have to, for accountability, I will. And I'll own up to everything I've said. Whether it's to the people I don't associate with and won't associate with, you couldn't pay me to associate with, or not, or to get on another channel. I would not. You know, my dad once told me, long before he died, and he said it multiple times in his lifetime, be careful dancing with the devil. You always get burned. I will always be a drug addict. I will always be a drug addict. You know, it's funny you say hater, because right after this all began, I got an email. that said, congratulations. Hey Myra, I'm gonna let you know if you watch the playback, I have cuss words in here. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do a lot of praying. I did not pray before I came on here. I figured I'd ask for forgiveness, both in our community and to God, because I never like being this angry. But I can go to bed with that anger in my heart. But in that email, it said, congratulations, you've made it to the haters list. And just the context of it, I was like, what? What are you talking about? And so I asked Mr. Stephanie about it, and he's like, I don't know what, there's a lot of that it can mean. And so this person elaborated after a few more messages back and forth and said, well, you got to be doing something right because you have haters now. And I'm like, what if not that I don't have haters in my life, but usually they're people that I've dealt with in real life, right? There's times in my life I'm not proud of. There's a lot of moments I can never take back, and I wish if there was a way to do it, I would, but I can't dwell on it. God don't want me to dwell on it. I would be stuck in my addiction and I'd be dead by now. I got sober, so my kids had a mom. I got sober because I knew my addiction was going to lead to a worse addiction. You can believe that. I went as far as I could with pills. I OD'd that year. It was an accidental OD. But it took Narcan, which is why I carry Narcan with me, not for me. But Narcan saved my life. I can't hear in this ear. I haven't been able to hear in it since the February after my dad died. It did irreversible damage. They were able to reverse some of it, but I have a whole, what would you call that? Unless you're tragically killed, your body requires a process to die. I was in that process of dying when Narcan was administered. It took 2 vials of Narcan to bring me back. And I have an experience. No, I didn't see Jesus, but I definitely knew he was there. Just like I knew he was there when I was 3 years old, shielding me and my siblings from abuse that we didn't deserve. Over 2 eggs in 1985-86. How much were eggs in 85 and 86? Few of y'all are old enough to remember that. I still cannot deal with runny eggs because of that. There's a lot of things I set out to be a better mother than I had, and my mom was great. She was an orphan. And I didn't really ever take that into account, y'all, because she built a community before there was a YouTube. She built a community of women, and they happen to be women of color. Look at me, y'all. When my youngest soldier graduated basic training out in South Carolina in 2021, it was family day. And I go in, if you've ever been on a military installation, the shopping center, okay? Because it's called different for Navy versus Army. But we're in the courtyard of it. And I hear across the room, okay? And you can just tell certain ethnicities, their name, their voices. And all I hear is, Mama Steph! Okay? This guy and many of them, if they had their eyes closed and it was pitch dark outside, you'd never know they were there. These individuals still have contact with me in one form or another, have that ability. My soldier in Jess went to basic before COVID. My youngest soldier went after COVID, and there's a huge difference. I bought an ink stamp, and every week I no kidding, I've still got the proof. So, but I sent 16 individual letters plus my soldiers. So 17 altogether. That wasn't their music lyrics. That was just affirmations. That was a letter addressed to that individual soldier in training, because going through basic training during COVID was very hard. It wasn't just the fact that a lot of people being away from their families for the first time. They were isolated because they had restrictions just like everybody. We sent them song lyrics. They actually sent me a list once. I still don't know where that list went. I lost it one night because, like this, not because I'm mad, but I was sleep deprived and set it somewhere. It's probably in a stack of notebooks or something. So I just started sending them song lyrics of things I knew my soldier liked. I was only asked to send one copy and they copy off the rest. No, I sent everybody. That happened once a week. That one went priority mail every week, and that was before I knew about pirate ship. So pirate ships that old, I lost a lot of money. But so my soldier ended up being the mail person because the drill sergeant, and there was, I told you how many I sent a week plus my soldiers. So that was their pod. They were separated, isolated to that many people. Asked if someone signed the whole platoon up to a church mailing group, and asked who the Groves family was, because that's what our stamp was. It had the Groves family, and it had our mailing address. Each one of those had a self-addressing envelope for them to be able to mail back. So if they needed anything, because not everyone gets mail, right? With at least a sheet of paper, if not two. So if they wanted to write, they could. They didn't have to ask a drill sergeant for supplies. We did that. I'll tell you what, staying busy, staying focused. I don't know how to quit to a fault. But I'll tell you, I have enough life experience to know when I've had enough. And this person, if they haven't been in here, I know they haven't been in chat, but if they're lurking, so be it. I don't hate you, but I'm done. I love you and I wish you well. And I mean that sincerely. I can't do it no more. I cannot be whoever you think I am. I'm sorry you thought so low of me. But I'll tell you what I was doing yesterday. I took my whole day building other channels who know not only do you support me, but that I support you. And wanted to know about your integrity. And if you could have been behind the troll. And I'll tell you what I told them. Honestly, I thought about it. Because I don't like lying to anyone. But when you ask me a question, if I ever pause, sometimes I'm thinking about how you ask the question. Because depending on how you ask something to me, depends on how you're going to get an answer. That's just who I am. So I tried to take me out of it and look by who's asking. And mind you, it wasn't a text, it wasn't an email. They called me. And I said, listen, I don't know. And I said, if you need more clarification on that answer, I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. I don't know, and that's my answer. I don't know who's behind harassing people in chats, who's keeping tabs of who's buying from other people, whether it's my channel or others, and reporting back to other channels and da-da-da. It needs to stop. You're hurting not just your channel. You're hurting our community. You're not just hurting my channel, okay? I'm not making enough to begin with. But you're hurting people that matter to me, that you claim matter to you. Stop. This has got to stop. You're hurting people. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go get a nap, and I'm going to aim to be in for the morning shows, because I think there's 2. So I might only catch the butt end of one of them. But not because he don't deserve me in there all the time. I mean, he deserves to have everybody in there rolling his chat. Hey, if y'all can go over, because you can do it right now, just so y'all know, you can click the like for lives that are coming up, not just for today, tomorrow, anything that's in a list already, you can click the like button. There's a lot of times I go through the weeks who's got stuff scheduled, and I like y'all stuff, because sometimes I don't know on the day. I know there's stuff I need to be off screen for before I come live. I need to get my background organized. That was what my goal was yesterday, and I didn't get to it. I got some of it cleared. I got a majority of my desk cleared, because I like to be organized. I don't like the chaos. I like things to look neat, and right now I've got sunflowers, which I love. I mean, I got one tattooed. I think it's that side. If not, it's that side. It's behind my ear, tattooed on me, all right? I love them. But I got stuff I got to do. I've got obligations before I come on the screen tomorrow. I hope I have people in chat. But if I don't, it's cool, because I'm going to still show y'all whatever I got prepared when I do. I'm going to have to take the responsibility that I did a live from a little before 3 a.m. my time till 4:30 in the morning, and I didn't wake up Mr. Stephanie, because he is the alpha male, right? He is the head of the household. He is the protector. So the fact that I did not wake him up is going to upset him. Then he's going to be upset with me because I didn't wake him up and I went here. He's not going to be upset because I turned to people I care about and that he cares about and cares about us. But he's going to be more upset because there are people that have stood beside me, beside him, in chats or behind the scenes, while we've weathered this shit up until now. And now more stuff can happen in their chats. I mean, I know they're going to take care of it. I'm not worried about being in their chats. And I know they'll weather it because they've weathered a lot, but they don't deserve to have to go through it, because I came on and now I've got 13 people in here, you know? I had up to 15 at one time, but that's not the point. I'm not looking for views. I'm not looking for watch time. I'm looking for people to be real and to be like, you know what? I'm done. Let's take a stand about anything. If y'all know anyone's misbehaving, tell them to stop. You don't have to call them out in anyone's chat or anything, but behind the scenes, tell them to knock it off, because they're not just hurting the person they're trying to hurt. They're hurting everybody. You know, if you go out to a pond and you throw a rock in, it's got a ripple effect. It harms everybody. For every action, there is a reaction, and the same thing, you know, vice versa. And I know I'm singing to the choir because a lot of y'all are old enough to be my parent or parents, and I'm aware of that. And I think y'all's relationship with me hasn't changed, because, you know, when we're not on screen and no one knows my age, and we can go back to before I was known as a 42-year-old, it didn't change anything. A lot of you didn't, some it did, but those people, I knew where they stood to begin with, and I'm not upset at them. You know, I'm willing to meet people where they are. I have to accept people where they are. We all come from different walks of life. We all have different experiences. Some of us have similar experiences or know someone that lived through it. You know, let's be part of the solution, not the problem. And I don't hate this person. And I don't hate the people that hate me, because it's got to be hate. It's got to be hate. Because I can't imagine loving someone and treating them the way I've had to be treated behind the scenes. And I'm not complaining because of that. I'm complaining because someone involved my kids. And someone involved my vulnerable adult child that just turned 18. And that's why I'm still around, Hippie. If it wasn't for all of y'all, and not recently, I'm talking in the beginning. I think you probably remember when I came into Lydia's. Maybe not the night, but around the time frame. And I'm telling you, and I feel bad. The one that usually sends messages on other platforms. Her and I have been chatting back and forth because I've been apologizing because I know Lydia misses me being in chat actively. I miss being in chat actively. I'm cautious when I come into chats, no matter whose chat it is. I usually see who's in first because I know some people are lurking and they're going to lurk. But I don't want to disrupt people's chats. I don't want to disrupt, I mean, in a bad way. And I definitely, do not want to disrupt someone's auction. And I'll tell you, that's what made me even more sad about what happened. It wasn't even the fact that I had to involve Johnny, which in turn he handled it as a channel owner would. He didn't bring it in chat. No one knew about it. Well, I mean, a few people will no doubt because I had a few, but that's not the point. But, Johnny addressed it like a business person and a channel owner on YouTube does, which is behind the scenes. And anyone involved, it was dealt with. I didn't even ask Johnny how he handled it. He said he had it, and I believed him. And, I know he's got it handled. It's the same way when I tell you, I got you. Now, with that said, I still got Johnny's ornament up there. I meant to have it to him before the 28th. And here we are, the 26th. It ain't going to happen unless, well, I don't know. If I took it to Kansas City, you think Mike could get it on, an airplane to Johnny in time? It'll be after Thanksgiving. I know Johnny isn't worried about it. That's the other thing, people. I gifted Jess and I gifted Wonder Woman stuff. Here's the thing. I also gifted Kim, little Kim. I gifted her something. Y'all, Johnny came in my chat, or he was in my chat. I haven't slept tonight. When the night he reached his goal of 75,000. I think he was in chat, but if not, he definitely came in chat and announced it. That week, well, no, it wasn't that week. I got this maybe a week before, something. Anyway, I got this, right? There was 3 different versions of this guy. This is the one I chose. Now look at this. He's missing a little paint up there. I don't know what the hell, and I haven't went back to see if they have any more. But if y'all remember, Johnny and Robert went to Williamsburg, Virginia. That touched my heart because that's not far from where Jess went to AIT training, which, okay, full circle, Johnny's channel, right, 5 years on the 28th. Guess where I was same day, the night before and the day of. We were driving back from the East Coast. We drove straight through. Brian, my cousin who passed away in January, drove us straight through. We only stopped for gas, and that's when we peed. We did stop for a meal here or there, but it was quick, drive-through stuff. Because Mr. Stephanie could not travel. He couldn't travel in a vehicle, and the doctor wouldn't let him fly to go to Jess's graduation. So Mr. Stephanie spent the 27th and the 28th of 2019 cooking Thanksgiving dinner. Still recovering from a widowmaker heart attack he had the month before. Because we were driving straight through so we could spend Thanksgiving with him, because I, at that point, had spent one Thanksgiving away from my children in their entire life. And it's when I got sober. It cost me my Thanksgiving with them. But I'll tell you what, thank God, because I'd have died if I wouldn't have got sober. So that's where we were 5 years ago. So Johnny reaching his 75,000, and then the 28th, y'all, I'm telling you, that's amazing. Now, I wasn't going to share this with him. He's already seen it. He's seen it the night he reached his goal. I put it back where I had it that night and where I put it back since. I've got everything to package it. It's going to be going out. I can't give him a date because I could plan tomorrow like today. Today's $2 Tuesday. I'm looking at the time to make sure because there's some people going to be going live soon. So I want to get off. But that's not the point. Today's $2 Tuesday. I think Myra or someone asked what I was selling today. There's a variety of things I'm going to be selling today. There's going to be this cherub, right? This is cool because you can kind of see his butt crack there. That guy's going to be $3, but stuff like that. I've got some other stuff that I'm going to sell. A lot of the stuff in my background I am not selling right now. Some of it just won't be for sale. Two guys, wine bottle. No. That's going to be for sale though. Let's see what else. Y'all know anyone in Florida? We got these. These are glass. I'm just showing you. This one's Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These are brand new. I just don't have the straws for them. This one has what it was for. We got these in our community. $20, right? $20. This one didn't have a sticker on the bottom, but it had the price tag in it. The other two, these are mental health ones. I'll show you more later, I promise. Oh, right. That's right. You're in. All right. We'll discuss it later. I'm not selling this early in the morning. All right. They're the glass tumblers. The thing is, we do know how to ship these, but this one is, you matter. I should probably keep these. Here's the thing. For one, I don't have the space, and two, I need the money. I do, y'all. But that's another story for another day. These, I will not take less than what I asked for them. Last night I asked 10 a piece. Stickers are still on them, right? The only thing is I don't have the straws. This one's a little different. It doesn't have that. I don't know why, but I don't think it's going to matter that. But this one's mental health. Does matter. Take deep breaths. It's got all the stuff you need to do, like if you're hyperventilating or whatever. I should have probably looked at that before I came live, but I didn't because I was mad. And I wasn't just a little mad. I was mad as a mom because it's one boundary that is not allowed to be crossed. This one, you're worthy of love. That's what that says there. Choose you. Choose you. Okay? Yeah, I learned some of the stuff in my own journey of healing that I'm still on. This is the biggest one on here that I love. Change is an opportunity for growth. Now, I'm one that does not like change, right? Seriously, change for me is usually not a good thing. It just, in my experience in life, it's usually not. Now, usually later on, I can look back and be like, oh, thank goodness, stuff was clearing. Those all are going to go for $10. I won't go down on the price because I have that in them. It was a fundraiser for an event for our community. Yeah, I'm going to do me. And I mean, if I lose anybody, I lose them. And it's not, I'm the ones I was worried about disappointing because I came on live versus maybe weathering it out or reaching out through another means before I did those was you guys. Hippie. I mean, I knew Hippie's opinion. She's a mom. Hippie's hippie. So I wasn't so much worried about her. But like even Myra, I catch some of her morning lives. I'm not usually in her chat, but I'll turn her on if she's on, as far as whether it's an unboxing or whatever it is. And I don't know, she has a way of bringing you down, right? And a lot of the stuff she shows is very, I don't know, it's soothing. It's cool. Um, Something in the last couple of days, something was blue that she showed. There was so much more, but there was something blue in her background on the table. I got this. This I've had since this week in 2019. It's the first time I ever, and it says United States Army. It's when my baby graduated and was officially considered a United States soldier. Those titles are earned. And the families that stand behind them, stand beside them, whatever it may be, there's sacrifices across the board. And thank God I became Army Strong, and times two, because the first time wasn't enough. I say that affectionately, but thank God, because if not, I'd probably lapsed. Not gonna lie. I'm only as strong as I think it was. I'll show you my fairy light, but I don't know what it is past that. Because it didn't matter to me. It's the color that attracted me. Where is it? No, it's there. Okay. Um, if I wouldn't have became Army Strong, if I wouldn't have became a military mom, I'd have lapsed. Um, I'd have probably lapsed the day I lost my Northern Star. When I got inside the hospital that was COVID restricted, that was typically not something that happened, but we lived in a rural, can't say that right now. We lived outside Wichita, and our hospital was small, and so it's community members. And so we went through a series of, you haven't been around you long. Well, no, we were working on our house that we ended up losing when Mr. Stephanie, it was actually right before he got sick the last time. And but anyway, so this is that brown, right? My mom had some, I can't say the name of them right now, but they're the tall, they have the, they do like this, right? Yeah, I got those put somewhere. Mr. Stephanie's tried to get me to get rid of them. They weren't hers. They're a replica of the ones she had. I sourced them. Um, but this isn't mint condition. I got this from Angie's Oddities recently. The other day, this, if you can look, it's still lit up barely. It's just very faint. Those last a while. But this is my first fairy light. I got it because it's the brown. It's the ember brown. And so my mom had glasses, and I've got, it's either a set or four set. But yeah, my reality, my mom didn't die of COVID, but she died because of lack of beds. Meaning she had an illness that was severe enough that had she been left in the hospital, but COVID beds were required in Wichita, that her infection that was already the most severe, on an x-ray, it looked like cancer. On a regular scan, and I do vape, y'all. I'm going to tell you that right now, and I have, so I know I won't monetize this one if I ever monetize. This is how I cope right now. That Mountain Dew, zeros. But because the beds in the city, and ours was Wichita, were priority for COVID patients, and I'm not bitching, okay? And I know so many people lost someone they loved during COVID because of COVID. I have childhood friends and bullies that are now friends. Their parents were in the medical field and refused to leave the medical field, even at the expense of maybe their life. And for some, it was. That had underlying health conditions, but the doctors, there were shortages, and we're talking Boston. Okay. My mom was sent out of the hospital. We picked her up and I took her home, and that infection that looked like cancer in an x-ray that they confirmed on another scan, which was probably an MRI, showed that it was an infection, a kidney infection. Here's the problem. My mom had been injured almost 6 months before that, or just over 6 months before that, and had a leg wound and been on antibiotics, major antibiotics. And trying to advocate for your family on the phone and saying, hey, I need you to put a PICC line in her. And no, I'm not being over dramatic to you, doctor. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. But the medication you're going to have her take isn't going to be enough. And I told this nurse that I talked to, I said, listen, she's my only surviving parent. I was not prepared to arrive as a DPOA. I was set as her daughter. But I'll tell you what, they looked at me and they had a list. And this is for a small hospital. And the lady, which was someone in our community, she's starting to go through it, and she realized, we hear the code blue go off, and she looks at me, she says, Stephanie, you haven't been around anyone that's sick, you're not showing no symptoms. I looked at her and I called her by name and said, I swear to you, I said, all my kids, we haven't been around anyone. She said, come in. Now, if you've ever been around when there's an unattended death or anything where they have to roll out that someone's maybe been hurt or something, like make sure it's not suspicious, there's cops. So I get through the doors, the ER is right there, and I'm just like in between, and I see the crash cart and the people, and I see an officer who I know, and thank God he knew about my PTSD. I have a very severe case of it. Mine scans on brain scans, and you can't tell a difference between someone that has 3 combat tours and mine if you take all identifying info off. That's not to brag. And so she asked me to sit down. Well, I want you to know now, this is the type of person I am. When I know somebody I love and I talk and deeply love, beyond all measure is in peril, I do not sit down. I don't. I can't do it. And I looked at her and I said, and mind you, we're talking through masks. And when I get nervous and my anxiety goes, I find it hard to form words. So trying to talk through a mask was very difficult. So the police officer comes over, and for me, because he knows my triggers, because my triggers involve men, he puts his thumbs in because he went through training, and he goes, hey, staff. And he's got his hands like this, his thumbs in, so he's not being a threat to me because he knows whatever's getting ready to happen. One thing's pivotally missing, which is Mr. Stephanie next to me. And he goes, what's going on? And I said, so I call him by name. I didn't call him by officer. I called him by name. Small community. And I said, I need to know she has vitals. And yes, I was already starting to disassociate with how I was coping. Because if I started spinning, it wouldn't have ended well. It just wouldn't have. And he goes, okay. And I said, all right, so this is what I need you to know. I don't have my PRN, which is my anxiety. It's what brings it down. It's something that kicks in pretty quick. I said the other thing, I didn't bring Mr. Stephanie, which I called him by his name. I said I didn't bring him with me because when you called him, the echo in the house, I said I was out in the car and I was kicking dirt when he came out. We lived 3 blocks from the hospital. And I said, I just need to know she's got vitals because I said I'm her DPOA. And I had requested my mom not do a DNR. It was a long, thorough discussion over a lot of time. Because of her health. Not because I ever wanted that responsibility, but I knew what that responsibility held. And so he's like, Steph, he's like, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? And I said, okay. He goes, because I think you need to call Mr. Stephanie. He goes, because I'm going to be honest with you. Before you come through the door, she coded. And they're working on her. And so I looked at him straight eye to eye, right? Like I would you or me. And I said, they're working on her. And he said, yes. Now, the importance of that, we lived in a small town. Someone I hadn't talked to in 2 months was the paramedic that responded to my mom's apartment. She was my best friend. We hadn't talked in 2 months because of COVID. COVID made people do crazy things. It made understandings happen. And I'll tell you what, in that moment when my friend came out, I knew her role. She was in her. She asked the necessary questions. She asked me where Mr. Stephanie was, and so I told her. And she goes, I'm going to ask which was her supervisor, if I can pass the case off to him, because he was there too. Everybody was. And I said, okay. She goes, I'm going to ask you one thing. We didn't have time to apologize for being bitches to each other. We were mean. I mean, not one versus the other, but we allowed a misunderstanding to hold 2 months from each other. And she goes, I think right now you're going to need a friend. I had been with her when she lost her dad. Her mom died when she was younger. And she goes, I think you're going to need a friend. And I said, okay. And so I went ahead, sat down. Doc comes out, and she comes out, and she goes, Steph. And I said, yeah. And she goes, you're your mom's DPOA. And I said, yeah. She goes, we have it on record. She goes, she tells me, what's going on with my mom. And she tells me, the options. I want y'all to know right now, I never gave up on my mom. Even if she had been in a facility without being in a vegetative state. Right? If she could have kept her dignity, I'd allowed them to do whatever they could do. But right before that doc came out, I asked God to give me the strength to face whatever was coming and be who my mom needed me to be. So the daughter part was off. And so when she came out, she told me, and I said, all right. I said, I need you to understand I am her DPOA. I said, but I need you to understand she's my only surviving parent. So as her daughter, I'm telling you, she's my only surviving parent, and I'm not prepared to lose her today. She said, okay. And I said, all right. Now I need you to understand. As her DPOA, this is what her wishes are. Can you confirm that y'all have not crossed over what her wishes are? And she goes, I can assure you we haven't reached that point yet. Yet being the key word. And that was the part my mom had warned me about. And that she never wanted me to have the responsibility of. That doctor in that moment, because it was my legal decision. How do you tell somebody that has the medical background that it's okay to let your loved one that you're sorry, y'all, your Northern Star go? The one that no matter what, no matter the argument you ever have, they always have your back no matter what. I don't know, because I disassociated. Not to an extent where I couldn't be, but that's how I coped in the moment. Jess was already on mission. Mr. Stephanie didn't know until we walked out the door that my mom was gone. Like, we literally walked out, my friend walked out with me after it was all said and done. And Mr. Stephanie looks at my friend and says, "It doesn't look good, does it?" And my friend's like, "No." And I looked at him like in disbelief, because I had texted what I forgot to mention is cell phone reception in that hospital is ancient. You only can be in certain areas of the hospital. So my text to him and to Brian, which was the one who drove Mr. Stephanie there, with my medication, neither one of them got it. And I looked at him in disbelief. And so, like, in that moment, I realized I had to say it out loud. And I said, "Mom's gone." And he was in disbelief. Him and my mom didn't always see eye to eye, but they loved each other and would do anything for each other. And, like, the life drained out of him in that moment, too. And it was almost like it was disbelief. And I think more so because I was as calm as I was. I promise you on the inside I wasn't. But I couldn't have faced that day if I wasn't a military mom. The day, which was the day after I turned 40, Jess came out. Okay, my child came out. Don't harass her. I'm not mom, okay? She came out with anything but what I thought, and that's not a problem, but I wasn't prepared. I always like to be prepared. And so that's been the hardest with all this the last few months. I have not been prepared to lose my community. The ones that I know I can text you, not with drama, right? Not this type of stuff tonight, because this was going to happen when something like that happened. I'm just glad that everybody understands that's not who I am every day, and everybody has their limit. And those that can't understand, well, I'll tell you what, when you go through the bullshit that's been going on the last few months, and I'm sorry for those that, because I'm really trying to watch my words, but when you go through what I've gone through for the last few months, and my family has gone through, and you accept being treated that way while not doing anything to provoke or add to it, and it just keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming. When you tolerate that, and it works out for you longer than it has for me, then tell me what I did tonight's wrong. I'm not sorry that I came on. I did not bring the full context as far as past what was said in those 12 to 14 back. But it goes back to the day before my solo. I'm not that type of person to bring everybody's dirt out. I don't like having dirt. That's dirt on anyone. I'm sure somewhere in that, I can be misconstrued in something, but I'll tell you what, I will own up to everything in those. So I don't care if it's done to me, whatever, but do it in full context. When I tell people, hey, if you got a problem or a concern, come to me. Reach out. I don't mind that. But don't drag my family through it. There's a reason why Mr. Stephanie is not without a mask, all right? There are people that he helps, and what I mean by the NA, AA, and so forth, that would not approach him if he was on a platform exposed, right? If he could be identifiable in our small community, certain people just would not approach him in that way. And not because he's done anything, but then people would know. We have a postmaster. That's who does our mail. Okay, we don't have mail delivery. It hasn't been mail delivery to houses since 1962, for real. The only thing that's delivered is UPS that comes from UPS, not SureMail, and FedEx. But sometimes they still deliver at the post office. I have boxes from last week and through the weekend. I couldn't pick them up yesterday because I swear, and I love our postmaster, okay? He's a neat guy. He has got a nice collection. If I ever thought I could take a picture and show y'all, he's got a Smurf collection in there. And then a few things that he displays. Uh, but he's got this obsession with polishing the damn lobby. It's not much bigger than, I don't think it's as big as my kitchen. It can't be much bigger than my area I sell in. How often do you really need? And I see that. It only drove me crazy because I've been waiting till Monday to come so I could get my mail. But instead, I'll harass him today in a good way because, he puts up with a lot of stuff that he probably shouldn't. He gets the brunt of a lot of people's frustrations because he's the first mail post office off post. So, yeah. Anyways, y'all have taken a lot of time out of your mornings. Thank you, Johnny. I'll tell you what, I do a lot for people, and I'm not complaining. And I do some free stuff. Some people help me with the free stuff. We're going to have a few giveaways, but those giveaways were purchased and donated for live events. I meant to have one last night, but just with everything, it was an hour and a half past the live. So when I got here, Mr. Stephanie had been on long enough. Jess was about ready to get off, and so it didn't happen. So we're going to do it today. Today is $2 Tuesday. I'm going to try to jump into people's chats today, but I've also got to prepare for today. I want to thank everybody for being here, for your kind words. It wasn't for attention. It's just awareness that the shit's got to stop. If there's anyone that is adding fuel, whether you realize it or not, just stop. I mean, it's Thanksgiving week, and at this point, we're only having turkey right now. I don't know what else we'll have. I mean, we got canned goods and stuff like that, but the rest of it will come. I'm not worried about it. God always provides. But, people got so much to worry about. The last thing they need is more drama and then people's chats. This person reached out to me and ended up attacking me, whether they view it that way or not. Hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. So I don't hate this person. I just can't do it no more. I love them. I'm wishing them well, and I'm going to love them from a distance. I'm not going to talk no trash on them. I don't need to. I wish them well. I do want them to go back, and not because I want them to be in panic, but I want them to review their comments to me in a private chat on a different server on the 7th and 8th of October. Reread that content that you wrote to me about these channels you're concerned about that this happened on. Step outside your perception for a minute. Look at them in entirety. And then ask yourself, if I really wanted to hurt you, would I have to involve anybody else? Can I just drop those other resellers, those 2 channels, plus the ones they're associated with? No one else, okay? No one else. Just the ones you mentioned tonight. Because I've got their emails. I'm not going to do it because that's not who I am. 10 years ago? Absolutely. I have to keep that stuff because bullying, harassment, tearing people down, you know, it's happening. It's not just me. I've seen it been happen, and some of it's done with affection, and other ways. No, it's got to stop. The bad behavior across the board has got to stop. People are getting hurt. And I've seen a handful of people walk away from YouTube. Some of them, I don't know if it's temporary. These people all matter to me. You're hurting my people, whether you no longer or not. Please. I can't do it no more. I'll come on here. That's not the problem. No one's chasing me away. But no more. When I feel like I'm in an active addiction, when it's impacting my relationships with the people I live with, when I can't function through my day because I'm fielding messages because people know we're associated together and that we talk privately. Hey Angie, welcome in. Angie's another one. I talk to her privately, not as much as I'd like to, but we talk privately, and I think a few people know that. Okay? But it has nothing to do with this, okay? It has to do with family and her being in the South, and I was born in the South, and just in general. Alright? But, we don't have to like each other to respect each other's space. If you can't like someone, stop hating. Stop driving other people to hate people. I'm telling you, some of y'all's channels, I'm not saying anyone in chat, okay? But there are people that can hear me right now. Some of y'all can never see me. The channels you're associated with, and that's your business, I'm not going to call you out, are behind a lot of this. This person I've supported and they've supported me. But this person and many people are not the ones in my chat right now, so please don't be offended, please. Especially Myra. And I mean that affectionately. But claim to be a Christian or some other religion and love and care for their fellow men. But behind the scenes are harming not just other community members, but other channels, my channel, their channel, and whoever else in the mixture. And then saying that they're a person of faith or a person of their identity, their organized religion. That's why I don't identify as a religion. I've been harmed by more people claiming to be from some religious sect or the other. There's extremes no matter who it is. Okay, and that's the one thing that's off limits in my chat unless I bring it up. It's not a debate because I'm not throwing stones to anyone. I will tell you, it's people like Myra, it's people like Rita, whether you like them, agree with them, have history with them, or whatever, okay? It's the reason why I listen to devotionals. Now, if it's something off keen, it's not something that's driving with me out, I might go somewhere else, right? But they're not pushy on me with it. If I'm not in their chat, I'm not. And if I am, they include me, but they don't push it on me. They believe the way they believe, and that's great. But they share their beliefs with others without pushing it down their throats. That's the way to be. I mean, Angie will pray for anybody, I think, including, a duck that might be stuck in the pond. I'm just using that for an example because there was something else that came to mind, but it just went. So I'm just, our community, YouTube is a universe, y'all. We're just like on a continent together. There is so much more to YouTube. And I'm getting to know some of those people, and this particular person knew about that, but they didn't know They didn't know what channels. That person asked me, and I wouldn't give them to them. So that person has known, at least for a hot minute, that I have some boundaries. It's nothing personal, and if someone takes it personal, then that's on them. I just, when we're building relationships with people, we're not going to sit there and advertise it all the time. I've been nervous about promoting people because I have not just her but others saying, there's people discouraging people because you're in that chat, or you're selling on that channel, or people are lurking in your chat to see who's buying, and those buyers are being harassed. People need to get a life. We don't have to get along. We can wish each other goodwill and a good life and move on, right? It takes more energy to hate somebody, and I know they hate me, and that's on them. But they're affecting my life. They're affecting the people that I love, both on the screen and off. And so that's why I came on. I didn't mean to be on this one, but I appreciate every one of you. Myra, you're amazing because of who you are. Angie, you're amazing because of who you are. You're genuine. I tell you, Angie, I know why, there was that click instantly. You remind me so much. My mama was raised in the New Boston area of Texas. So the Texas side, right? If y'all ever watched Smokey and the Bandit, where they go down the original Smokey and the Bandit, their location into Texas, that's where my mama was raised. That was her neck of the woods. Life is very short, I was with my mom less than 38 hours before she died of sepsis, y'all. She died of sepsis, something that is preventable if caught in time. But because of COVID, we kept our exposure to her because she had a lot of health issues that, we went to the store. We didn't go hang out at the store, but we went and picked stuff up for her and others. So we didn't stay in contact. I mean, we did, but not like we used to before COVID. I was with her long enough to know she didn't exhibit symptoms of it. But she had had sepsis enough that she must have built enough of a tolerance to it that it was really too late. And I got to that place with her right before she died. I had that aha moment the last time I seen her. And I thank God I shelved it. I was like, we got there because we had struggled because I got sober and she was one of my suppliers. And we struggled because she was also my mom, right? So, my first few months of sobriety, at first she didn't think I was, she wasn't the only one, though. And I'm only telling you that because she's passed now, but a lot of people know about it. A lot of people, that's how that happens. So loved ones will supply. They will enable. My mom did it for a number of reasons. It is what it is. We can't take back the years, but we can today and tomorrow and the next day, right? I'm not in competition, which is another thing. This person in competition is treated like a bad word. Competition could be a good thing, but it makes me feel dirty when it's told by a few people competition-wise. The only competition I have with anyone is myself and who I was yesterday. Literally. So I'm going to go try to get some rest. I don't know that I will because I'm pretty wound up. But Mr. Stephanie's alarm's going to be going off in less than 30 minutes. It may have already went off. It might be him getting up. So I'm going to get off because I'm going to have a lot of explaining to do because he doesn't deserve to find out on YouTube that I went live. But he's going to worry, not just about me, but about all of you and how this is going to impact everybody. I'm going to get some rest, and I'm going to pray about this. I know I'm strong enough to weather any storm that comes. I've been doing it for 39 out of the 42 of my years. I draw the line at my family. I don't have many of them left. And most of them outnumber me. I've created. So the mama bear, it comes out. And I'm not sorry for that. Y'all are amazing. Y'all make this community amazing. You make other people's channels amazing because of who you are. You know, this person is going to think I hate them. And that's okay too. I'm willing to be misunderstood. I've already started feeling the peace. It's just letting the rest of it go, Myra. Because I gotta let the personal part of it go. Because I know this person didn't mean to hurt me. And somewhere I really suspected that it was probably going to go this way. I just would have wished they'd have given me the grace that I've given them and at least give me the benefit of the doubt first. As far as the rest of them, it'll all sort out. My aunt that passed away in July said it all comes out in a wash. That was her logic for everything. I don't know that anything came out in a wash. But anyone that thinks that me, my family, or anyone associated with me is behind terrorizing, harassing, bullying anybody on YouTube or otherwise needs to get live. And if they're serious about it, then bring the proof. Bring the proof. And that's not a challenge. I mean, literally, if you know someone I'm associated with in any way is behind this, bring the actual proof. Angie and Ella do, I think it's a bi-weekly, every other week or so. I know things change, especially with the holidays, but I know they have table discussions where bring your receipts and we'll talk about it. So we can do it in a neutral spot. Just saying. As far as my stuff, we're not going to discuss it. I think more than between two channels and being out over 100, not 100, 1K. That's not an exaggeration. Over the course of the time I spent on other channels is enough to just say, listen, I'm willing to cut that loss. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please. Let me do what I do. Stop looking at my channel and seeing I got 20 people if you only got 15. I just threw that number out there. If you want to look at that, look at the subs you got versus me. Last night before I went live, I had 215. If I stay at 250, I'm good with that. If I lose a few, I'm good with that. Because the ones I want following me now and in the future is the ones meant for my channel. And I think we're off to a good start. But it's not a competition. My competition's with the woman I woke up with yesterday. And her name was Steph then, and her name's Steph now. Love y'all. I really do love you. I don't just say it to say it out to have it. You know, I give compliments because I know what it's like to miss that window and never be able to have it again. Thank y'all for being genuine. Thank you for your words. I know I didn't get to everybody. I covered most of what everyone said, but and I know Johnny said a few things above a little bit ago, and I know who's got my back and has their back, and I'm good with that. It's not about that. It's choose yourself. Choose you. Let the rest of it sort its way out in the wash. I love y'all. Have a good day. Get some rest because some of y'all been up with me all night. And we'll see you in another chat, okay?